Chapter 2148.1 Ice God Forbidden Grounds Secret. Chapter 2148. 1. Ice God Forbidden Grounds Secret. Yimo sat next to Ching Yu and smiled. Sure, tell me. Ching Yu nodded and sat down again. Brother Yi, you have gone through more things than me, so you probably know more than me. There are some things I don't understand, Yimo thought and said. Ching Yu, I might have experienced more things than you, but I really might not know as much as you. Ching Yu was older than him and she had a powerful master. There were many things about cultivation that he didn't know but she knew. Ching Yu quickly said, I'm not talking about this. Listen to me first. Once, I went to a place and I saw an extremely beautiful woman taking a shower in the spirit marrow pond, but at this time, a man charged in. The woman wasn't scared seeing the man. Then the man took off his clothes and started making love with the woman in the pond. The man and woman went too crazy and was immersed in this. They didn't notice the surroundings. Yimo heard this and couldn't resist asking Ching Yu, you wouldn't be on the side watching them, right? Ching Yu blushed. Of course she wouldn't be that bored. Brother Yi, I didn't watch. Don't change the topic. Ching Yu argued awkwardly. Yimo thought about it and realized, if Ching Yu could see that place, it meant that place wasn't a secret to her. Ching Yu continued, but at this moment, another extremely well-dressed man charged in the spirit marrow pond. When the man came in, the man and woman making love woke up. The three of them froze before the woman shakily called Zishuan and pushed the man on her away fiercely. The woman saw the well-dressed man look at her in disbelief and she suddenly ran over crying, wanting to hug the well-dressed man. But before she got near this man, the man slapped her hand and left the pond with an extremely sad look. Ching Yu's story gave Yimo a familiar feeling, but he couldn't remember where he saw it. Ching Yu sighed after the woman was slapped away. She looked at the man in disbelief as though not believing this man would slap her. She cried her heart out and left the bathroom, not even wearing her clothes. The man who came in first saw the two of them leave and quickly put on his clothes and left too. The well-dressed man went to another room. He sat on the chair for a while. The sadness and despair in his eyes went deeper until he eventually pierced his hand with his own hands and died. Yimo finally realized now that this was the scene he saw at the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. There was a few inner clothes of a woman hanging by the side of the spirit marrow pond. He was guessing that something tragic happened to the woman and she fled before being able to dress herself. Now, it seemed he overestimated her. She fled in embarrassment for being caught cheating. Perhaps she was thinking that even if she did something wrong, the man who loved her so much shouldn't hit her. So that's what happened in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Yimo sighed. This thing was quite tragic for that well-dressed man. That man slapped the woman and didn't go kill the man she cheated with. This meant that he was definitely very close with that other man. From another perspective, if that man wasn't important to him, he wouldn't be able to get inside the pond and see his wife bathing. Hearing this, Ching Yu dazed and released that Yimo definitely saw the scene too. Otherwise, how would he know it was from the Ice God Palace? But soon she said, you probably saw this when you took me away, right? Theoretically, there were so many people in the Ice God Palace. Even if you went, the scene should have been dealt with. How could you see it? How could it be dealt with? The entire Ice God Palace died. Who would deal with it? Then Yimo noticed something wasn't right and asked Ching Yu. You probably saw this when you first arrived at Ice God Palace, right? How did you almost die at that ice mountain? Ching Yu said awkwardly, I just came to the cultivation realm from the immortal realm. In order to stay there, I have to suppress my cultivation level. Even so, the pressure from the world was unbearable. At that time, I wasn't completely used to it. The man who was having sex with the woman saw me and dazed. Yimo nodded. No matter who saw Ching Yu for the first time, they would be dazed. Even he was shocked seeing Ching Yu for the first time. As a woman, Ching Yu was too perfect. Just when I was about to attack, he attacked first. This person released the terrifying 9-headed void-devouring bug. The 9-headed void-devouring bug was too disgusting. I didn't attack yet and I almost puked. That 9-headed void-devouring bug was about to devour me. Yimo shook his head. That 9-headed void-devouring bug wasn't trying to devour you. He was probably trying to bind your space and let its master catch you. How do you know? Ching Yu asked dazily. She only knew later. Yimo smiled. That man couldn't wait to do dirty things with that woman in the bath. Clearly, he's very lustful. Any lustful person who sees your appearance would want you. Since he wants you, of course he wouldn't let the 9-headed void-devouring bug eat you. Ching Yu sighed and nodded indeed. The instant I was scared, the man attacked. He ambushed me. Luckily, although my power was suppressed, I was way stronger than him. I still broke free from the binding and easily heavily injured him. I was backlashed and ambushed, so I almost died. What were you doing at the Ice God Palace? Yimo asked again. Ching Yu's eyes flashed with sadness. My master took me around the immortal realm and encountered a disciple who ascended from the Ice God Palace. From her, we knew that there would be many female disciples turning into ice sculptures each year for no reason. My master was furious and wanted to go to the cultivation realm to investigate, but her cultivation level was too high and couldn't handle the suppression of the cultivation realm world laws. Eventually, I had to go down and check. Yimo wanted to laugh. Your master's power wasn't too high but too low. If your master vindicated Dao, go and see if she would still be suppressed by the cultivation realm. Plus, if Li Xiu was really sad and furious, why were there that many ice forests in the Ice God Palace too? Ching Yu continued. My master used an ancient formation to send me to the cultivation realm, and I realized how powerful the world laws of the cultivation realm was. Even though my cultivation level was low, it was still very harsh. After that man was defeated by me, he was worried I would hunt him and fled. My spirit sense saw he turned all the women he saw into ice, and I immediately realized what was going on. Yimo realized too. Ching Yu's face turned pale. I was so angry at the time. I knew it was that bastard who turned our Ice God Palace sect members to ice, but there was nothing I could do. Chapter 2148.2, Life Dao. Chapter 2148. 2. Life Dao. Although that man left, he would soon realize I was heavily injured and come back to find me again. In order to kill this person myself, I found the teleportation formation and went into that icy grounds. I wanted to recover, but instead, my injuries worsened there. In order to stay alive, I could only turn my small world to a huge tree to protect my sliver of soul. Ching Yu still sad after all these years? Yimo nodded. He knew there was no 5 elements in the small world, and in order to preserve her sliver of essence spirit, it had to stay outside. What he didn't get was why that man didn't come back, and if that 9-headed void-devouring bug guy was Hongisin. How many heads did that 9-headed void-devouring bug have? Yimo asked. Ching Yu said it had 4. Usually, if it was a truth realization state cultivator who was ambushed, he wouldn't be able to escape the space binding of the 9-headed void-devouring bug. I barely broke free and barely heavily injured him. It wasn't Hongisin indeed. Yimo's heart sunk. He never heard of that guy in the cultivation realm again. Did that guy ascend to the immortal realm? If that guy only had a 4-headed 9-headed void-devouring bug, it was no worry, but if his 9-headed void-devouring bug reached 9 heads, it would be a huge disaster. Ching Yu asked, how did the Ice God Palace you went to turn into the Ice God Forbidden Grounds? Because there were frozen ice people everywhere. They looked alive, but they were frozen. It's a tragedy. Yimo said. They all died indeed. Ching Yu murmured to herself. After a long while, Yimo asked, you probably wanted to ask a question with this story, right? Why don't you ask anymore? I want to ask you a question. Where did that woman go? Ching Yu dazed. Seeing this, Yimo said speechlessly, never mind, let's not think about her. Ask your question, and I'm immediately going to the Void Marketplace. Ching Yu dazed and asked with embarrassment, Brother Yi, I've always been spending my time in cultivation, and there are some things I don't understand. I saw that woman clearly loves the well-dressed man a lot. Why did she still cheat on him? And why did she think it was no big deal after her Dao partner knew? She didn't leave out of embarrassment for sure, but because she was slapped by the man. Is this thing not as serious as the well-dressed man thought? Yimo frowned. He didn't know how to answer these questions. He didn't understand why Ching Yu asked him these questions. Seeing Yimo frown, Ching Yu suddenly asked, Brother Yi, I'll ask a simpler question. If you saw this woman, how would you look at her? Yimo sneered. If she didn't do that to me, she's just a slut and has nothing to do with me. If she did that to me, I would kill her for sure. Is it because ever since she gave her body to that well-dressed man, she belongs to the well-dressed man? Is this what it means to be loyal? Ching Yu asked. Yimo frowned again. He didn't know how to answer this. Ching Yu seemed a bit strange today. She usually would never ask such questions. Seeing Yimo frown again, she suddenly smiled. Brother Yi, I believe you don't need to answer these questions for me now. I will find my own answer, thank you. Ching Yu walked a few steps and suddenly asked Brother Yi, do you think there are people who are just immortal monarch but can vindicate Tao? Yimo looked at Ching Yu in shock and said, if it was before I definitely wouldn't know, but now I can tell you. There's one type of Tao that can only be vindicated at immortal monarch. I've just learned this. Ching Yu, why did you suddenly ask this? Ching Yu heard this and asked in surprise and joy, may I ask what that Tao is? Yimo said seriously, the Tao of life. Life law and time law are two completely different things. If you want to vindicate life Tao, you must not reach immortal emperor. Otherwise, you would have learned immortal emperor Tao law and would never have the chance to vindicate life Tao. The reason Yimo knew this was because the chaos tree rebuilt his Tao foundation and he learned life Tao. Because he had the tree of life, the mother of all life in the universe, he was the only one who didn't need to vindicate life Tao to understand so much about life Tao. Brother Yi, can you tell me about life Tao? Ching Yu looked passionately at Yimo. Did Ching Yu want to vindicate life Tao? Yimo looked at her in confusion but said life Tao needs a life seed. This life seed is the fusion between the life Tao wave of someone else and your own Tao wave. Only those who have a deep understanding of life Tao can create life Tao wave. This is extremely hard. Ching Yu would need another person to give her a sliver of life Tao wave Kai. Life Tao wave Kai is extremely precious and each strand contains life essence. How could people give it to her so easily? Even if they did, it wouldn't be so easy. He had the chaos tree. Although he didn't vindicate life Tao, he had life Tao wave Kai. This meant that if he was willing to, he could give a sliver of life Tao wave Kai to Ching Yu. Even if he was willing, he didn't want to do this. Tao wave Kai unison is no different to having sex, but one was spiritual and one was body. Then after the life Tao wave fuses, would it create a life seed? Ching Yu's face was burning. She sat under the bitter bamboo next to Yimo and felt his life Tao wave. Yimo for some reason had his life Tao wave Kai circulating around him and she used that moment and took a sliver of Yimo's life Tao wave Kai. Then, she accidentally let it fuse with her Tao wave Kai, forming a life seed. In her consciousness, Yimo forcefully did something to her, but now she realized, she forced something against Yimo. It was purely because Yimo was in a strange state and Yimo didn't know. Yimo looked at Ching Yu in surprise. Ching Yu, if you can find someone with life Tao wave Kai and fuse it with your understanding of life Tao, perhaps you can really vindicate life Tao at immortal monarch. Your understanding is very great. Yimo paused and said, when the life seed forms, this seed would grow under the nourishment of your Tao wave. Once you read Immortal Emperor, that seed will sprout. When it completely sprouts, it will form a tree of life in your Dan Tian. If the tree of life forms, you would have successfully vindicated Tao. Yimo looked at Ching Yu and sighed. If it was Xiaoyun or Jiangwen and then who wanted to vindicate life Tao, he would give his Tao artifact wave Kai without hesitation, but Ching Yu, never mind. Seeing Yimo not wanting to give her life Tao wave Kai, Ching Yu sighed and bowed to Yimo. Thank you, brother Yi. Ching Yu understand. Seeing her leave quickly, Yimo shook his head. He felt she asked really strange questions. It would be very hard to vindicate life Tao, but if she did, she would almost be undying. Those who were related with her would never die. This was the terror of the life Tao. Yimo started to look at what he got from the Tao essence divine emperor demon. Yimo scanned in the storage ring first. There were some god spirit herb and materials. There was about 10 million god crystals. For ordinary people this was a huge fortune, but Yimo shook his head. Then Yimo opened the bracelet and gasped. This Tao Essence Divine Emperor was far wealthier than even the sect leader of Du Ting God Sect. This bracelet was a huge small world. Just the god crystals stacked up to nearly 1 billion. Yimo for the first time saw extreme grade god spirit range. Although there was just one broken one, its dense God Spirit Kai wasn't something that top-grade God Spirit range could compare with. All sorts of God Spirit herb and ores stacked up in mountains. Despite not having Dao fruits, Yimo didn't care. He lacked Dao fruits the least. Chapter 2148.3, Void Marketplace. Chapter 2148. 3. Void Marketplace. After organizing everything, Yimo appeared on the spacetime boat again. He found in shock that there was a bright spot on the location disk. It was small, but Yimo could see the words Void Marketplace. He didn't expect the Golden Page world to have floated near the Void Marketplace. This saved him a few years. The extreme-grade Flying God artifact spacetime boat brought a sliver of mark in the void. It sped up faster and faster until the golden spot became clearer and clearer. That was the Void Marketplace. Yimo looked inside his Golden Page world. Xiaoyun and them were in solitary cultivation, so Yimo gave up the thought of calling them out. He thought that they must come out together before going in the Void Marketplace. Otherwise, if a few people suddenly appeared around him, people would definitely notice. At the start, people would think he had a small world. In time, they would think he had Truth Spirit World. The small world wasn't rare, most powerful beings had them, but the Truth Spirit World was something truly rare. Even Tao Essence Divine Emperors didn't all have Truth Spirit Worlds. As for Five Elements Worlds, it was even more rare. Chaos Worlds were something the master of a region of universe had. Thinking about this, Yimo still put the small world storage ring he got from the Duting God Sect leader on his finger. After all, this meant he had a small world. If Xiaoyun and them suddenly came out, it wasn't too out of the ordinary. This was the first time Yimo came to the Void Marketplace. This was the first time he saw a city as big as the Void Marketplace. This was a city, this was a continent. Yimo was certain that if he threw the earth onto the Void Marketplace, it would only take a small corner. Yimo had seen many immortal city and divine Dao cities, but none was as prosperous as this. No city had this grand force like the Void Marketplace. Before even getting near the Void Marketplace, he felt the dense God Spirit Kai. 5 minutes later, Yimo put away the spacetime boat and appeared at the entrance to the Void Marketplace. The Void Marketplace was a city that had no city walls. There were restrictions everywhere. There were formations everywhere. In front of the Void Marketplace, there was a boundless harbor. All sorts of large ships and flying magic artifact parked at the harbor. Ships left and entered the harbor, constantly showing just how busy and prosperous the Void Marketplace was. Yimo entered the Void Marketplace and no one came to question him nor take God crystals. This meant that if you could come to the Void Marketplace, you could come in and leave whenever you wanted. This was a very free place. Yimo's spirit sense didn't scan in and he could see there were way more immortals here than the Shadow Void Castle. There were mist figures who didn't even have human form walking around the city. There were also bleak Kai ghost immortals walking on the streets. Even some tree monsters were walking in and about. Comparatively, there weren't many human beings. But races would turn their form into human form once they reached high levels of cultivation, and this made it appear that there were a lot of humans. But this was natural as the human form was more coherent with Tao. Yimo compared and found that showing himself to be immortal emperor here wasn't too absurd. Soon, he felt he started to fuse Tao waves Kai. He felt his cultivation level Kai gradually rise until Tao nourishment divine emperor peak stage before stopping. Yimo dazed and calmed down. His true cultivation level finally showed in the Void Marketplace. He vindicated Tao in the Chaos world and his cultivation level would only show as Tao nourishment divine emperor in the Chaos world. Outside, it was always immortal emperor. This was because the outside world was broken and couldn't allow him to show his true power. Yet, when he came to the Void Marketplace, his Kai rose to Tao nourishment divine emperor, meaning that the Void Marketplace was a world complete with the 5 elements. He wondered if he went back to the divine Tao realm, would his cultivation level drop back to immortal emperor? Yimo didn't care about his Kai showing to be Tao nourishment divine emperor. He never planned to hide his cultivation level. The stronger your power was here, the safer you were. But Yimo didn't know that his cultivation level rose to Tao Nourishment Divine Emperor peak due to the Chaos Tree helping him rebuild his Tao foundation. He learned Life Tao Wave and his Tao Nourishment was more complete. Thud. A figure smashed over towards Yimo. Yimo quickly moved aside and this figure landed before him, not moving. Yimo scanned with his spirit sense and found that this was a woman, but her life force was gone and her essence spirit was annihilated. An extremely handsome man sneered at this dead woman and disappeared into the crowd. This man was extremely handsome, but Yimo sensed the demon Kai waves from him. This was a Tao actualization Divine Emperor demon. Yimo was shocked. Could people kill however they wanted in the void marketplace? A yellow-robed manager walked over and wanted to sweep her away when this pitiful cry sounded. G-minute. It was a Tao molding Divine Emperor man who came up. The manager saw someone come over and frowned. Hurry up and move her away. Don't affect the flow on the streets. The man was very sad, but he could only take the woman's body and disappear into the crowd. Yimo stopped a Tao molding Divine Emperor human and asked Immortal Friend, can people kill freely in the void marketplace? Does no one care? This Tao molding Divine Emperor glanced at Yimo and asked Immortal Friend, you just came to the void marketplace? Yimo nodded yes. So I don't know a lot of things. The Tao molding Divine Emperor said that's right. You can kill people however you like in the void marketplace. The condition is that someone offended you and you have reason on your side. Otherwise, you will be punished by the void marketplace. How do you judge if you have reason for killing? Yimo asked. The Tao molding Divine Emperor laughed. Of course you invite the manager to judge. If the managers determine your friend was killed innocently, then they will seek responsibility from the killer. Yimo frowned. I just saw the woman die here and the manager was here. How come the man didn't tell the manager the situation? Did they really offend the demon Divine Emperor? The Tao molding Divine Emperor sighed. Immortal Friend just came to the void marketplace. You might not know. If you want the managers to speak for you, it would be on the basis that you have power. That man and woman are both Tao molding Divine Emperor. Only if they're mentally retarded would they offended a Tao molding Divine Emperor demon. Clearly, they were just casually killed. That man didn't ask the manager for help because even if he did it would be pointless. Even if he was right, the manager wouldn't help him and the demon Divine Emperor would come back to kill him too. Yimo was speechless in that case. There's no difference if there are managers here or not. The Tao molding Divine Emperor nodded. You're not wrong to say that. Yimo fell silent. There really was no reason anywhere. Immortal Friend just came to the void marketplace. It's best you go to East Market. Humans usually stay there, but it's a bit far from the center of the void marketplace. It's a bit inconvenient. The Tao molding Divine Emperor said. Why is it inconvenient? As long as you were in the void marketplace, even far places weren't far. Yimo asked. The Tao molding Divine Emperor smiled. Immortal Friend, there are restrictions all over the void marketplace. From the East City to the center, it would take 15 minutes. Usually, the best things appeared at the center of the city. If you can't get there immediately, you would have no chance of getting it. Thank you, Immortal Friend. Yimo thanked and then headed towards the center of the void marketplace. Seeing Yimo not head to the East City and find a place to live and instead go to the center, this Tao molding Divine Emperor shook his head and left. There were restrictions everywhere in the void marketplace and Spirit Sense couldn't scan out at all. Yimo only realized how prosperous the city was when he came to the city center. There were restrictions everywhere in the void marketplace and Spirit Sense couldn't scan out at all. Yimo only realized how prosperous the city was when he came to the city center. Roads of shops were on extremely wide streets. These shops belonged to all sorts of races. Yimo walked in a few random ones and all the things they sold were top grade. Other than this, there were stalls that didn't have shops. They were just temporary stalls. The owner would exchange things every once in a while. Those things you couldn't find from the big shops could be found here. Yimo looked casually and felt that this trip to the void marketplace was worth it. No matter how many god crystals he had, he would be able to spend it all here as there were just simply too many things. Yimo was in no rush to go buy from the shops. He needed to find a place to stay first and find out about the environment here before he would collect the things he needed. But soon, Yi Mo was disappointed. He asked about all sorts of immortal rest towers, but they were all full. Even at the lobby, he could only sit in one corner as it was full. Yi Mo realized he thought too simply. The Void Marketplace was different to the Shadow Void Castle. People who came here lived here long term. Last 10 North Soul Herb, the stall will close after selling out. A voice Yi Mo heard gave him an idea. As a pill divine, he could even make Tao Actualization God Pill. Yi Mo wasn't unfamiliar with North Soul Herb. It could be made into Tao Nourishment God Pill, North Soul Pill. It could empower the essence spirit of divine emperors and was very helpful to divine emperor cultivation. Many divine emperors' sea of consciousness wasn't big enough and thus they couldn't reach higher levels. The North Soul Pill could empower essence spirit and expand one's sea of consciousness. This pill was very hard to concoct and many people bought the herb not to concoct the pill but just to eat it. Direct consumption had much less effect, but it was better than nothing. If even North Soul Herb could be turned into North Soul Pill, then even if there was just one herb, it would cause powerful beings to fight over it. It was a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor selling the North Soul Herb. He had no Beast Immortal Kai, but Yi Mo could tell this Tao Actualization Divine Emperor came from the Beast race. Yi Mo went up and saluted with his fists. Immortal friend, what would happen to the stall after you finish selling? The Beast Divine immediately knew what Yi Mo meant and said the stall positions aren't as sought after as the Immortal Rest Tower, but it's not something easy to obtain. If you buy my 10 North Soul Herbs, I will give the stall to you without taking a transition fee. Yi Mo wasn't after the stall but the room behind the stall. This room was a temporary stay for the stall owner. Yi Mo just needed a place to stay. Are there no procedures to do? Yi Mo asked in confusion. The Beast Divine laughed. I can tell it's your first time at the Void Marketplace. Look, there's a rink on the door of the room behind me. It's a teleportation formation rink. If you just put your rent there every year, it will be fine. My rent is 10 million God crystals a year. My rental period is about to be up. If you buy my North Soul Herbs and then put 10 million God crystals in before the month ends, you can extend the lease for a year. It's that simple? Yi Mo asked in disbelief. He was in disbelief at how cheap the rent was. Yes, it's that simple. The Divine Emperor said. Yi Mo felt that there were some things the Beast Divine didn't tell him, but he didn't have time to find the loophole, so he could only say, I'll take the North Soul Herbs. How many God crystals? 5 million God crystals for 1, 10 for 50 million. Plus, I'll transfer the stall to you for free. Otherwise, it would be a few million transition fees. The Tao Actualization Divine Emperor said. Yi Mo knew it wasn't expensive, but that was only to him as he could turn the North Soul Herb to North Soul Pills. For others, this price was way too high. Give me the stall and I'll give you 20 million for the 10 herbs. If you agree, then deal. If not, never mind. Yi Mo said. Deal. The Divine Emperor took out a stall jade card without hesitation and gave the 10 herbs to Yi Mo. Yi Mo had the feeling he was being tricked. He didn't seem to understand the price of things here, but even so, Yi Mo didn't regret. He gave the Tao Actualization Divine Emperor 20 million God crystals. The Divine Emperor took the God crystals and smiled at Yi Mo. That jade card is the card for the stall, perhaps you will get rich here. Then, the Tao Actualization Divine Emperor left. Yi Mo frowned and put these things away. Yi Mo didn't keep the stall. He set up some restriction in the room behind the stall. Just when Yi Mo wanted to set up the restriction, an extremely skinny figure came over. He wore a black cloth on his face. Yi Mo immediately recognized who this person was. When he was at the Divine Tao realm, he sold a God Heartstone before going to the Muhua God Mountain. This person bought it. Yi Mo didn't see his cultivation level at the time, but this person is actually Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. However, it wasn't stable. It's you. The skinny man clearly recognized who Yi Mo was and said in shock. He didn't expect that little immortal emperor at Muhua God Mountain suddenly became a Tao Nourishment Divine Emperor. He immediately guessed that Yi Mo definitely hid his cultivation level. Otherwise, there was no way he reached Tao Nourishment Divine Emperor in a few hundred years. You're setting up a stall here? The skinny man asked. Before Yimo could reply, a sneer sounded. A tall Tao actualization divine emperor woman chased over. The skinny man took out a jade box and threw it to her. You can have it, just give me back my god crystals. The woman took the jade box and threw out a storage bag to the man and sneered, count yourself lucky. Seeing the woman leave, the skinny man saluted with his fists. Immortal friend is really talented in business. You were selling God Heartstone at the Muhua God Mountain and now you're having a stall. Yimo smiled. When I was setting up a stall, you seemed to have been hunted. Now, you're still being hunted. The skinny man dazed and said awkwardly, I didn't expect you to be able to tell I was being hunted. Keen eyes. I still have keen eyes now. Yimo took out a few immortal artifact and put them on the stall. The man glanced at these immortal artifact and laughed. Your eyes really aren't keen now. I would rather compensate people god crystals just to stay because we came from the same place. So I'll give you a few words of advice. Tell me, if it's really words of advice I'll listen to you. Yimo put a few bottles of immortal pills on the side. You really sell a lot of things. The skinny man laughed and continued. Did the original owner of the price say the stall was very cheap and only costs 10 million god crystals a year? Yimo asked in confusion. Is it not? The man gave an I knew it face and said that's right, the rent is indeed only 10 million god crystals a year. But, there are other things too. There are some people who often come here to collect some payments. These payments are the total of your yearly profits. Of course the main thing is that I know your stall can't be rented. What do you mean? Yimo frowned and asked. I came past here a few days ago and saw a beast race Tao actualization divine emperor kill another Tao actualization divine emperor and rob their things. The skinny man laughed at Yimo. I came past here a few days ago and saw a beast race Tao actualization divine emperor kill another Tao actualization divine emperor and rob their things. The skinny man laughed at Yimo. Yimo looked at this skinny man in disbelief. The stalls here can be robbed? The void marketplace doesn't care about these things. What do you think? The skinny Tao actualization divine emperor sneered. Yimo's heart sunk. He looked around at the other stalls. He thought of many things but didn't expect there to be such absurdity. The stall he rented could be robbed. If it was like that, who would want to rent? But these stalls were all rented out, there were none left. Then wouldn't those weak cultivation-leveled people be unable to set up stall? Yimo was disappointed. There was no point in renting such a stall. No matter how powerful he was, he wouldn't dare to stay that he could hold a stall position. The skinny man smiled yes and no. See, there's a Tao molding divine emperor over there having a stall. He's doing very well. The stall fees here aren't expensive, but if you don't have someone backing you up you can't last long. Many people just set up stall for a few days. If someone robs them, they would just give it away. Usually, people wouldn't find an excuse to kill you that way. Other than this, there's another way. That is if you pay god crystals for someone to protect you. Usually, it costs about 1 to 200 million. Yimo took in a cold breath. That amount would make any Tao Essence Divine Emperor unable to sit relaxed, much less other people. So some people sell their things out as quickly as possible when they rob a stall and then give it away. The skinny man smiled. Yimo sighed and saluted with his fists. Thanks for your reminder. I'll just give the stall away if someone comes here. If it's some other stall you can do that, but not for this stall. If you keep renting it you might disappear from this world forever the next day. The skinny man said. Yimo's eyes frowned. Make him disappear forever? Not even Tao Essence Divine Emperor can do that. The original owner of this stall is called WN Feijian. He's a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor. He was killed and robbed by that Beast Race Divine Emperor. Perhaps the Beast Race Divine Emperor even sold his things to you. So what? WN Feijian has a sister called WN Tongtong. She's ranked in top 300 of the God rank. What do you think? Yimo wasn't very worried. He even killed a Tao Essence Divine Emperor. How could he be scared of a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor? He didn't kill WN Jianfei. Even if he did, he wouldn't care about WN Tongtong. No matter how powerful she was only a first-step Divine Emperor. It seems you're not very worried. The skinny man was a bit confused seeing Yi Mo being so calm. Yi Mo said plainly, "What do I need to worry about? I have nowhere to stay, so I can only live here." Hearing out this guy, Yi Mo realized that he didn't need to worry about Wn Tong Tong but the guys collecting fees from him. These guys would probably have ties to the Void Marketplace. Would it affect him if things went sour? He came to the Void Marketplace for opportunity. He didn't want to leave so quickly. Hearing this, the skinny man smiled. "Don't worry about not having a place to stay. If you don't mind, you can stay with me. I'm Tang Xiaoyu. I wonder if Yi Mo's is your real name. I'm Yi Mo, but I don't like living in the same room with a random female." Yi Mo set up the last restriction on his stall and said casually. Hearing this, Tang Xiaoyu's face burned. "You can tell I'm a woman?" Yi Mo glanced at her and said, "I believe I'm not the only one who knows. Don't have too much confidence in your mask nor your stealth cultivation method. This means you not only saw I'm a woman but I'm also not human." Tang Xiaoyu's tone went cold. Yi Mo couldn't be bothered talking to her. He walked in the room behind the stall and was going to set up restrictions there. Even if he was to give the stall away, it would be after he made some money here. Tang Xiaoyu followed Yi Mo into the room and said, "That's right, I'm a woman and I'm not human. But that doesn't affect us collaborating. I have some good things that I want to use your stall to sell. And even if that Wn Tong Tong comes, I can help you a bit." Yi Mo turned around and looked at her. "First, I don't need your help. Second, my stall won't sell your shitty things." Yi Mo realized her intention. Perhaps what she said was true, but her main purpose was probably to scare him off and use this stall for a few days. Tang Xiaoyu sneered, "If my things are shitty, then your immortal pills and immortal artifact are good things." "Oh, I saw you take out a top-grade immortal artifact. That would definitely get the people in the Void Marketplace fighting over it." Yi Mo said calmly, "That's just the things to hold my stall. In a few days I will be selling top-grade Flying God Artifact, top-grade Attack God Artifact, Refine Heart Pill, North Soul Pill, God Cloud Pill. Do you have these? If you do, then put it up." Tang Xiaoyu was scared by Yi Mo's words. After a long while she laughed as though she heard the greatest joke. Yi Mo didn't explain and casually waved out a top-grade Flying God Artifact and a Refine Heart Pill. After she saw it, Yi Mo put it away again. "What? You really have these things?" Even Tang Xiaoyu was shocked. "What do you think?" Yi Mo smiled at her. Tang Xiaoyu dazed and quickly saluted with her fists to Yi Mo. "Immortal friend Yi, if you really have these pills, I'm willing to help you and be your sales assistant. I just want 20%. 20%. Do you think I'm dumb? You just need to help look after my stall and you're going to take 20%. How can you say such things?" Yi Mo studied Tang Xiaoyu from up to down. Tang Xiaoyu was uncomfortable being stared like that and quickly said, "Then 10%. I still need to risk helping you fight. It's not that easy to guard a Void Marketplace stall." Yi Mo thought for a long while before saying, "Okay, but you must tell me which race you're from. Otherwise, I don't feel so sure." "I'm from the Phoenix race." Tang Xiaoyu hesitated for a while and said, "Where is the Phoenix race? Do you have a map?" Yi Mo asked. "What do you want?" Tang Xiaoyu immediately became vigilant and stared at Yi Mo with enmity. He was asking about the realm her race was at. Yi Mo frowned. "I'm just curious about some other races. Do you have to be like this? Your attitude makes it hard for me to cooperate with you wholeheartedly." Tang Xiaoyu heard this and hesitated for a while before saying, "I definitely won't tell you where my race is, but I know where the dragon race is. You're just curious anyways. It's the same. Deal." Yi Mo showed a big sly smile. He never planned to ask her where her race was. He guessed she was from a beast race, and in that case she might know where the dragon race is. Tang Xiaoyu immediately gave the dragon race's location to Yi Mo. "How come I feel you don't have good intentions?" Yi Mo didn't answer to that and took out a bottle of Refine Heart Pill. "This is a bottle of Refine Heart Pill. There's 12 inside. Go sell it first." Tang Xiaoyu grabbed it and immediately forgot about what she was going to ask. She dashed out and said, "Don't worry, we'll be earning huge." 5 minutes later, the entire center of the Void Marketplace erupted. On a small stall in the Void Marketplace, there was Refine Heart Pill for sale. It was even extreme grade Refine Heart Pill. The price for one was 5 million god crystals. This was a huge price, but it still couldn't stop the flock of people. Tang Xiaoyu soon realized that the price she named was too low. Even at 5 million price, people still fought over for the 12 refine heart pills. Tang Xiaoyu soon realized that the price she named was too low. Even at 5 million price, people still fought over for the 12 refine heart pills. The main ingredient for the pill wasn't expensive, but the reason the pill was so expensive was because the refine heart pill was too hard to concoct. Even Dao Nourishment Pill Divine might not be able to concoct. This was something only Dao Actualization Pill Divines could concoct. One Dao Actualization Divine Emperor just attacked Tang Xiaoyu. In her desperation, Tang Xiaoyu yelled, "Whoever kills the first guy who attacked me, I will sell the first pill to him." Before she finished, for God Arts landed on this Dao Actualization Divine Emperor. The Dao Actualization Divine Emperor spat a mouthful of essence blood and fled. Tang Xiaoyu breathed easy and sold 4 pills to these 4 people. Seeing more and more people come, Tang Xiaoyu could only speed up and sell the remaining 8 pills. "Immortal friends, the 12 refine heart pills have been sold today, please leave." Tang Xiaoyu's words caused more ruckus. Yi Mo walked out and patted her shoulder. "You're not good at doing business. Collaborating with you isn't worth it. Move aside, let me speak." Tang Xiaoyu wanted to argue, but seeing the raging crowd, she couldn't say anything. Yi Mo walked out and saluted with his fists. "Immortal friends, everyone probably knows that I'm a pill divine. As a pill divine, I came to the void marketplace to earn god crystals. But more so, I want to help everyone. Otherwise, the pills I sell wouldn't just be for 5 million god crystals. Now, please quiet down everyone. If I'm disappointed, then I would rather not have this stall and leave immediately. I believe with my capabilities, I can get god crystals anywhere." Yi Mo regretted a lot. Tang Xiaoyu called the price too low. Otherwise, they would have earned more, but since she already named a price, increasing it wouldn't benefit his sales tactics. He could only use her price. But he was going to get this difference through other means. Hearing this, the crowd immediately calmed down. A top pill divine finally came to the void marketplace. If he was pissed and turned to leave, no one would benefit from this. Tang Xiaoyu couldn't help but to admire Yi Mo. His means were too effective. People calmed down with one word from him, but she made the scene so chaotic. Yi Mo smiled. "Today, the 12 refine heart pills are half selling, half for free. The main thing is to let people know that I have a stall here called—" Yi Mo paused and suddenly waved out the words, "Luo Yu Pill Forgery Divine Tower. Now that everyone knows this price, we'll be selling according to normal price tomorrow. Are the prices being raised?" There were all sorts of voices again. People here were extremely wealthy, but no one wanted to see the price raise. Yi Mo quickly waved his hands. "Immortal friends, what are you talking about? Of course the price will still be sold according to 5 million god crystals." Before everyone could breathe easy, Yi Mo said, "Of course, I don't do a losing business. The 5 million today is my pill concoction fees. As for the material fee, I didn't take any. Immortal friends, as a pill divine, I'm helping people concoct pills. If I don't even take materials, then wouldn't I lose so much? So tomorrow the price will be 5 million a pill and plus a set of materials. Without materials, don't blame me for not selling pills." Tang Xiaoyu thought. This Yi Mo was a cunning old bastard. He was increasing the price shamelessly but still proclaiming he was helping people. Using materials and paying for a pill wasn't just as simple as adding the price. If Tang Xiaoyu could think of this, of course everyone else could too. Discussions heated up again. "Pill divine, if I want to buy refine heart pill but I can't find refine heart immortal spirit herb, then I wouldn't be able to buy it." Yi Mo waved his hand. "Of course that's not the case. If you can take out material higher level than the refine heart herb, then I'll sell the pill to you first. For example, you gave me the 9-star bamboo, then not only would I sell a refine heart pill, I might even sell you a Dao star pill to you." "Pill divine master, you can even concoct Dao star pill?" someone asked in shock. Yi Mo laughed. "Dao star pill is nothing. As long as you can take out the best god spirit herbs, I can concoct the best god pills for you. Even if you take out Dao fruits, I can concoct Dao pills for you." Yimo came here to get rich, and only by keeping a high profile would he be able to do that. He knew this might get him killed, but Yimo couldn't care. He lacked these cultivation resources. You can even concoct Dao pills? More shocked voices sounded. Dao pills were made using Dao fruits and was more suitable than the refined star pill to learn about Dao. Yimo's cultivation level was limited and thus couldn't concoct any high-level Dao pill, but Yimo said this to prevent Dao fruits from slipping past. If he got a Dao fruit, he might really be able to concoct Dao pills. Plus, most Dao fruits didn't need to be concocted into pills. It could be consumed directly. Yimo laughed. Let's not talk about Dao pills yet. Tomorrow not only would there all sorts of God pills, but there would also be top-grade God artifact. If you can take out the best forgery materials, I can give you the best God artifacts. No one believed a pill divine was a forgery divine, but they hoped what Yimo said was true. That way, they would be able to get what they wanted. To prevent people from asking, Yimo said the deals end here today. Immortal friends, please go back to prepare materials. I'll state this again, tomorrow, whoever has the highest level material will get the highest priority in dealing. Hearing this, everyone left clearly to prepare materials. There were many materials and herbs in the void marketplace, but people who could turn them into the best God artifact and God pill were much rarer. Although many Dao Essence Divine Emperor have quite a few extreme grade God artifact, but they were collected over the many years, some passed down from ancient times. Some were purely stacked up with materials by using 10 times the amount of materials normally needed. Compared to top-grade and extreme-grade God artifact, there were much more middle-grade and low-grade God artifact. Seeing Yimo casually set up formation in front of the stall, Tang Xiaoyu asked worriedly, Yimo, what if a lot of people come and you can't give out that many God pills? You worry too much. Yimo said. He came here to get rich. No matter how tiring it would be, he would make enough God pill and God artifact. When Yimo and Tang Xiaoyu were discussing the things tomorrow, 2 Dao Actualization Divine Emperor peak stages came before Yimo's stall. According to your income today, you need to pay 12 million protection fees. The two said. Tang Xiaoyu sound transmissioned to Yimo. There are many of these people. They're probably related to the void marketplace. After we pay them God crystals, there will be others coming to ask for God crystals. Yimo nodded and signaled her not to worry. He then looked at the 2 Dao Actualization Divine Emperor and said, are you too sure you want to collect my God crystals? The 2 Dao Actualization Divine Emperor's faces went cold. You're setting up a stall in the void marketplace. Paying God crystals is what you should do. Do you not want to pay? Yimo suddenly yelled at the street, some people are forcing me to leave immediately. If any immortal friends want to lead and kick these two away, you don't have to bring materials to buy my God pills or God artifacts. As soon as Yimo said this, a huge palm came over and the 2 Dao Actualization Divine Emperors were palmed away. As soon as Yimo said this, a huge palm came over and the 2 Dao Actualization Divine Emperors were palmed away. Yimo, who was supposed to be happy, took in a cold breath. He didn't expect even Dao Essence Divine Emperor attacked. He wasn't scared of Dao Essence Divine Emperor, but did he dare to use all his means in the void marketplace? Seeing it was a Dao Essence Divine Emperor, the 2 Dao Actualization Divine Emperor didn't dare to say a thing and quickly left. I heard you could concoct Dao Star pills. The Dao Essence Divine Emperor walked up to Yimo's stall. Yimo thought, Dao Essence Divine Emperor indeed wouldn't help for no reason. Of course he could concoct Dao Star pills. He already concocted a cauldron of them. He concocted them to help Mu Xiaoyun break through to Divine Emperor. But this Dao Essence Divine Emperor probably wanted to use the Dao Star pill to learn astral space god art. That's right, I can. Yimo said without hesitation. If this Dao Essence Divine Emperor didn't bring out 9-star bamboo, he wasn't going to give his own Dao Star pill to him. If this Dao Essence Divine Emperor really took out a 9-star bamboo, he would help concoct a cauldron. The Dao Essence Divine Emperor took out a jade box and threw it on Yimo's stall. This is a 9-star bamboo. I'll come pick up the pill tomorrow. Yimo opened it and saw it was a 9-star bamboo indeed. He immediately said happily, pill concoction fees 5 million God crystals, 6 pills produced. Sure. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor took out a storage bag to Yi Mo and said this is 5 million God crystals. He wasn't scared of Yi Mo taking things and leaving at all. He immediately turned to leave. Yi Mo took this and sighed. Pill Divine was indeed amazing. He got 6 Tao Star pills and 5 million God crystals so easily. He had to be careful though. He wasn't scared of one Tao Essence Divine Emperor, but if a bunch came, he wouldn't fare very well. Plus, in a place like the Void Marketplace, who knew if there was no Primordial Essence Divine Emperor? When Tang Xiaoyu came to Yi Mo's stall the next day, she found it was filled with people. Yi Mo didn't even come out yet. She scanned her spirit sense into the house behind the stall and found her spirit sense was bounced back from very far. Tang Xiaoyu was shocked with Yi Mo's formation skills. Seeing Tang Xiaoyu come over, the crowd immediately separated and let her in. Tang Xiaoyu just came back to the stall and Yi Mo came out of the house. Pill Divine Yi is here, everyone be quiet. Someone already said before Yi Mo said anything. They even found out Yi Mo's name. Yi Mo saw many people with a confident look and immediately knew he was going to get very wealthy today. Yi Mo saw more than one Tao Essence Divine Emperor, but none of them were human. Clearly, the human race's power was far weaker than other races in the Void Marketplace. Is it ready? A plain voice sounded. Clearly it was the Tao Essence Divine Emperor from yesterday. The tone was plain, but Yi Mo could hear a sliver of desperation. Yi Mo knew that these Tao Star pills definitely had very important use for this Tao Essence Divine Emperor. It's done, here. Yi Mo threw out a jade bottle. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor took the bottle and opened the bottle lid. When he smelled the aroma and saw the 6 extreme-grade Tao Star pills, his face immediately became excited. Very good, it's very good. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor said and disappeared. Seeing this Tao Essence Divine Emperor leave, Yi Mo went up and saluted with his fists. Immortal friends, today I will be selling 1 top-grade Flying God Artifact, 2 top-grade Attack God Artifact, 12 Refine Heart Pills, 12 North Soul Pills, 12 God Wind Pills, 1 Tao Star Pill. These God Pills are all extreme grade. As soon as Yi Mo said this, the scene erupted. Even Divine Emperors couldn't contain themselves. Immortal friends, I hope everyone can say the things they are going to trade and then I'll judge an order based on what everyone has. Even if everything is sold, immortal friends will still have an opportunity. Please keep calm, Yi Mo said with a smile. People would be remembered for exposing their items, but Yi Mo couldn't care. After taking all these things, he would be remembered even more. Since people were seeking fortune, they had to take such risk. Pill Divine Yi, I have a Blood Sea Heaven Ice. I want to buy top-grade Flying God Artifact. I'll use Scorch Abyssal Herb to buy North Soul Pill. I have an Essence Breaking Spirit Liu. I just want God Wind Pill. Yi Mo heard this and was very happy. He wanted all of these things. Even if he would be remembered, he wouldn't care. He immediately said, Xiaoyu, trade the Scorch Abyssal Herb first. This was something used to concoct Tao Abyssal Pill. It was a god pill for Abyssal race to learn Tao. Yi Mo needed this as he was planning to deal with Abyssal race. Piles of god crystals, top materials, and god spirit herbs were all gathered by Yi Mo, but more and more people came. Eventually, Yi Mo just started pill concoction on the spot. Those with top God Spirit Herb or Chaos Spirit Herbs were all taken. However, Yi Mo didn't concoct pills on the stall but in the room. After another day, Yi Mo's name was like sun in the sky. The news of his stall spread through the entire Void Marketplace. Everyone knew Yi Mo was Pill Divine, but he didn't forge artifacts, so he wasn't famous for that. Those who didn't get God pills knew it was pointless to stay here and left to collect the best God Spirit Herb and forgery materials. This Pill Divine Yi's appetite was getting bigger and bigger. He didn't even take ordinary God Spirit Herbs. A day later, seeing people leave the stall, Tang Xiaoyu breathed easy. In just a day, she calculated that Yi Mo earned nearly 1 billion God crystals and she got 100 million. She was certain that even robbery didn't get you God crystals this fast. Comparatively, Yi Mo earned more God Spirit Herb and materials, but he didn't give a share of this to her. May I ask if the Pill Divine Qian Bei is called Yi Mo? Just when Tang Xiaoyu was thinking if tomorrow would be like today, a careful voice asked. Tang Xiaoyu didn't even look up and said, that's right. What do you need? Show me your herbs or materials first. No, we're Pill Divine Yi's friends, a red-faced Tao Nourishment Divine Emperor smiled. Tang Xiaoyu looked up. She knew that Yi Mo just came to Void Marketplace. How could he have friends? So it's Brother Shenyu, Brother Shin, and Goddess Being. Please come in. Yi Mo came out of the room with a smile. So it's old friends, please come in. Tang Xiaoyu immediately acted polite, seeing they really were friends of Yi Mo. Brother Yi, I knew you were fine, haha. Xian Yushua walked in and laughed. I was lucky. Yi Mo didn't want to talk much about the demon divine and gave a jade bottle to Jiyu Being. Goddess Being, this is what I promised you. Jiyu Being took the pills excitedly. Thank you, Brother Yi. Brother Yi, I have something to tell you. I heard the God rank master Wn Tongtong is back. She said she wasn't going to let you go. Xian Yushua said. Yi Mo didn't care what happened to her brother, has nothing to do with me unless she's being unreasonable. Yi Mo didn't worry about her not being reasonable. He was famous in the Void Marketplace now. Even if he wasn't going to be scared of a Tao actualization divine emperor. Seeing that Yi Mo didn't care and thinking about how Yi Mo could escape from Tao essence demon divine, Xian Yushua didn't say much. They chatted for a while and the three bid them farewell. Seeing that Yi Mo didn't care and thinking about how Yi Mo could escape from Tao essence demon divine, Xian Yushua didn't say much. They chatted for a while and the three bid them farewell. After Tang Xiaoyu left too, another man came to Yi Mo's place. He had long grey hair and even his face was grey. Yi Mo seemed to only have Tao nourishment cultivation level, but he could see the origin of ordinary people. However, Yi Mo could tell what this race was. He only knew that this person was Tao essence power. The power of his God essence was no weaker than the demon divine he killed. Seeing Yi Mo not talk, the grey-robed Tao essence divine emperor saluted with his fists and said, Void Marketplace Merchant Tower Xing Hong greet Pill Divine Yi. Void Marketplace Merchant Tower? Yi Mo repeated in confusion. He just came to the Void Marketplace and didn't really understand the place. Xing Hong nodded seriously and said yes, Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. It's the biggest dealing grounds in the Void Marketplace. There was first the Merchant Tower, then the Void Marketplace. A very long time ago, the Void Marketplace was just a floating astral domain. After the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower built the first Merchant Tower here, it eventually developed to the Void Marketplace. Yi Mo realized what this meant. The Void Marketplace Merchant Tower was probably the strongest in the Void Marketplace. Yi Mo greet immortal friends Xing Hong. What business do you have with me? Yi Mo knew that people would come to him after he showed his pill concoction skills. He just didn't expect it to be this fast. Seeing Yi Mo be so direct, Xing Hong said Pill Divine Yi is actually a top Pill Divine that reached the door to Tao Essence Pill Divine. This is unique even in the Void Marketplace. The strongest Pill Divine of our Merchant Tower is only a Tao Actualization Pill Divine. Pill Divine Yi is at the same level as our Pill Divine. The Merchant Tower greatly admires that. Yi Mo sneered. Same level, bullshit. He was certain that even if that Tao Actualization Pill Divine could concoct Tao Actualization God Pills, he would have pitiful success rate. Otherwise, the Void Marketplace wouldn't do such good business. Seeing my not answer, Xing Hong knew that Yi Mo didn't consider the Tao Actualization Pill Divine of their Merchant Tower seriously. But reality was so indeed. Their Tao Actualization Pill Divine was not on the same level at all compared to Yi Mo Pill Divine Yi. With your pill concoction skills, there's hope of reaching Tao Essence Pill Divine. But if your cultivation level can't reach Tao Essence, then it would be very hard to concoct Tao Essence God Pills, Xing Hong said. Yi Mo smiled. Immortal friends Xing, the path of cultivation is slow. Some things come slowly. I believe if I spend time, I would eventually reach Tao Essence. Xing Hong's expressionless face finally showed some emotion. Pill Divine Yi, that's right, but in a place like the Void Marketplace, power is everything. People might attack you at any time. Only once you have power do you have the right to speak. I came here to do a deal with Pill Divine Yi. Pill Divine Yi will concoct pills for the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower and will give Pill Divine Yi a spot to go into the Tao Fruit Tower. We also promised to be Pill Divine Yi's backup, and at least in the Void Marketplace, no one would dare to touch Pill Divine Yi. Dao Fruit Tower? Yi Mo asked in confusion. Xing Hong looked at Yi Mo's expression and knew he was a noob. He said calmly, "Do you know why the Void Marketplace is so prosperous? Of course, it's partially due to a lot of powerful beings and wealthy divine emperors coming here to deal, but another reason is the Dao Fruit Tower. In the endless void between realms, there's a Chaos Tower called Dao Fruit Tower. This Chaos Tower has 9 levels and each level has a Dao Fruit Tree. Level 5 is a Purple Heaven Dao Fruit Tree. As a Pill Divine, you would know the use of the Purple Heaven Dao Fruit, right? It can let Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor learn Dao waves and find their opportunity to reach Dao Actualization Divine Emperor. If that's not attractive enough, then I believe any Divine Emperor below Dao Essence can't reject the Qian Essence Dao Fruit of level 7. That can allow people to learn Dao Essence Dao Wave." Xing Hong's words made Yi Mo take in a cold breath. No wonder there were so many Divine Emperors in the Void Marketplace. But Yi Mo knew that relying on the Dao fruits to progress wasn't suitable for him. His Dao was Chaos Dao. He could use Dao fruits to fuse into his God art, but he wouldn't use the Dao fruits to purely break through his Dao. "Is there some limitation to go in the Dao Fruit Tower?" Yi Mo asked. Xing Hong heard Yi Mo ask and knew Yi Mo was probably interested. He smiled and said, "There's 999 spots to enter the Dao Fruit Tower. Everyone on the God rank can enter. There's 499 spots remaining to be divided by the races. We Void Marketplace Merchant Tower have 10 spots." Yi Mo was surprised. He knew that Void Marketplace Merchant Tower's power level was probably the top at the Void Marketplace, but even they only had 10 spots. Yi Mo subconsciously asked, "How many spots does the human race have?" "Human race has no spots right now," Xing Hong said plainly. He was going to let Yi Mo understand how precious one spot was. Yi Mo's heart sunk. Human race was definitely a big race, but they didn't even have a spot. No wonder the divine Dao realm was so broken and no one spoke up. "Why does the human race have no spots?" Yi Mo asked. Xing Hong explained nicely. When the human race divine Dao realm was broken and human primordial essence divine emperors disappeared, they have no power in the Void Marketplace. As for Dao Fruit Tower, it's a place where power speaks. Without power, of course you have no right to get into the Dao Fruit Tower. However, the human race does have someone going in. There's 2 humans on the God rank. They have the right to enter the Dao Fruit Tower. How to get on the God rank? Yi Mo fell silent for a while and suddenly asked. Xing Hong thought Yi Mo wanted to get a spot from the God rank and said seriously, "Everyone on there is at least a peak stage master of the first step of Dao Vindication. Even if they fight a Dao Essence Divine Emperor, they might not get killed. Pill Divine Yi, it's not that I look down on you, but as a Dao Actualization Pill Divine, you're already at the peak of Divine Emperor. You're walking a different path to others. You don't need to use cultivation power to prove yourself." Seeing Yi Mo not talk after all that, Xing Hong could only continue. The God rank is decided based on the tournament before the Dao Fruit Tower opens. What if someone defeats a God rank master at other times? Yi Mo asked. The divine tablet of the Void Marketplace would automatically replace the defeated with the victor's name. Xing Hong said. Yi Mo nodded and asked after a while, "Immortal friends Xing, is the Dao Fruit Tower is about to open?" Xing Hong quickly said, "No. There's still more than 100 years before it opens, but we can give it to you now." Yi Mo smiled. "Then we'll discuss when the Dao Fruit Tower opens." Xing Hong Pill Divine Yi, if the Dao Fruit Tower opens, the spots would be more sought after. I don't know if I could get any then. Not a rush, who can be sure of what happens 100 years later? Yi Mo didn't plan to use Dao Fruit to break through, but even if he didn't plan to use a spot 100 or so years later to do this deal. Seeing Yi Mo really not interested in the Dao Fruit Tower, Xing Hong said desperately, "Pill Divine Yi, even if you don't want the spot, you still need a powerful backup to keep having a stall here. Otherwise, I'm certain people would be looking for your trouble tomorrow. Even that WN Tong Tong wouldn't be easy to deal with." Yi Mo nodded. "I believe that, so I've decided to stop the stall tomorrow. That way, people wouldn't have a reason to look for my trouble." Yi Mo didn't expect the profit of the first day to be this terrifying. If he continued, People would definitely come for his trouble. Xing Hong dazed. He didn't expect Yi Mo really intending to stop. If Yi Mo leaves the void marketplace, where would he find such a powerful pill divine? If he didn't have to, Xing Hong really didn't want to force Yi Mo. Pill divine. Yi is a pill concoction grandmaster. Have you heard of Light Heart? Xing Hong finally took out his trump card. Chapter 2149 Light Here. Chapter 2149 Light Here. Yi Mo shook his head to say that he hadn't heard of it. You actually never heard of Light Heart? Xing Hong looked at Yi Mo with disbelief. Please teach me. Yi Mo saluted with his fists. Xing Hong stared at Yi Mo for a long while before confirming that Yi Mo really didn't know about Light Heart. He explained you can concoct Tao actualization god pills, meaning that you have a top-level heaven flame. Even if this flame wasn't at the peak of god flame, it's a god flame, right? That's right. Yi Mo said. Then you probably know what the highest level of flames are, right? Xing Hong asked again. Yi Mo nodded. I only know that in the immortal realm, once a flame reaches god flame it would be the highest level, but according to my guess, god flame isn't the highest level. Xing Hong sighed and looked at Yi Mo saying, I really don't dare believe you have such high pill concoction prowess. I'll tell you. Usually, god flame is already at the peak, but god flame indeed isn't the highest level of flame. The highest level of flame is called divine flame. Yi Mo thought, this was indeed. Little Blue couldn't melt Murder Dao's spear, and from that he knew that god flame wasn't the highest level. Xing Hong nodded. Even in the entire universe, there's only a few divine flames. The reason divine flames are so hard to get is because they are formed from a top-level god flame devouring Light Heart. As a prenatal material, Light Heart is very rare. Light Heart is prenatal material? Yi Mo was truly shocked this time. Xing Hong said heavily, that's right. Light Heart is formed in the light world of the universe. It's very rare, and even if there are any left, it's collected by powerful beings to feed their flame. The Light Heart is a prenatal material, but it can't be made into other magic artifacts. It can only allow a flame to reach divine flame. You're planning to give me a Light Heart? Yi Mo thought. If there really was a Light Heart, he could help this void marketplace merchant tower. Xing Hong smiled bitterly. Pill divine Yi looks too highly of us. We're wealthy, but we don't have the capability to give a Light Heart to Pill divine Yi. Yi Mo frowned. Then why even speak about this? However, we can provide Pill divine Yi with an extreme grade god spirit range and 2 billion god crystals to contend for the Light Heart. Xing Hong said. Hearing this, Yi Mo was extremely shocked. He had about 2 billion god crystals and this was very wealthy to him, but they gave him this much so casually. Yi Mo knew that although he could earn 1 billion god crystals on the first day, but that didn't mean the second and third would be the same. Yi Mo immediately asked, there's Light Heart in the void marketplace? It's being auctioned. Xing Hong nodded yes, there are multiple merchant towers protecting it together. 10 days later, it will be sold with 9 other absurd materials. There would be countless powerful beings coming. Yi Mo sneered, let's not talk about whether I would be able to buy it, but even if I do you think I can protect it? Xing Hong's face dazed for a moment and said, of course not by yourself, but if you join the void marketplace merchant tower then there would be no problem. We're not the strongest in the void marketplace, but no one dares to come start trouble with us. What if a primordial essence divine emperor came? Yi Mo said plainly. Xing Hong said assertively, primordial essence divine emperors have indeed come to the void marketplace before, but I'm certain there would be no way primordial essence divine emperor would come to this auction. Primordial essence divine emperor knows the heavens and earth. Even if the void marketplace is good, it can't attract such powerful beings. Plus, the Light Heart will be sold 10 days later. Even if primordial essence divine emperor gets news of it, they wouldn't have time to buy it. Thank you for your goodwill, immortal friends Xing. I'll think about it, but never mind about the Light Heart. I'm not interested in this. Yi Mo got up and saluted with his fists. Yi Mo hadn't seen the power of the primordial essence divine emperor, but he was certain that even just 15 minutes was enough for them to cross over from another realm, much less 10 days. Seeing Yi Mo's firm attitude, Xing Hong could only get up then have a good think. Pill divine Yi. You can come to me at any time. If Pill Divine you don't like staying here, you can move into our hotels at any time. Okay. Yimo said and watched Xing Hong leave. He wanted the light heart of course, but he knew that if he really bought it, he would never be able to leave the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. Regardless if he could get the light heart or not, he would go try. He wasn't going to let others know he came to the auction. Yimo just asked at the auction door and knew about auction. There were 9 other things auctioned along with Lightheart, but Yimo hadn't even heard of any of them. The entrance ticket to the auction was 10 million god crystals and a room costed 50 million god crystals. Yimo thought there was no way people would pay this much for an auction that only had 10 things, but just standing at the door for a while, Yimo saw nearly hundreds of tickets being sold. Yimo exclaimed, there were too many wealthy people in the Void Marketplace. Yimo had decided to enter the auction, but he didn't dare to buy tickets now. He squeezed into the crowd and then left the Void Marketplace. He had to be very careful about the auction this time. Otherwise, with his power, he would easily die. If there wasn't so many restrictions in the Void Marketplace, he even planned to set up a teleportation formation. After Yimo left the Void Marketplace, he started to change his looks and Yimo made a magic artifact that changed his looks. It didn't take much effort. A day later, a dark-robed Dao Essence Divine Emperor entered the Void Marketplace. He walked around the Void Marketplace streets for a while before buying a room ticket at the auction. Yimo was so desperate as he knew there would only be 10,000 tickets being sold this time. Although there were many people buying the tickets, most people in the Void Marketplace didn't know about the auction. Otherwise, the tickets would be sold over in a day. Most people who came to buy tickets heard some inside story like Yimo. After buying the ticket, Yimo secretly recovered his look and went back to his stall. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2150 Resolve Conflicts. Chapter 2150 Resolve Conflicts. Yimo, where have you been these few days? I've been looking for you for a few days. As soon as Yimo came back, Tang Xiaoyu came up and asked desperately. Yimo laughed. I went elsewhere to buy some materials. Pill Divine Yi, you're finally back. I need to ask you to help concoct a cauldron of North Soul pills. Pill Divine Yi. As soon as Yimo spoke with Tang Xiaoyu, quite some people squeezed up to Yimo's stall. These people were all waiting for Yimo to concoct pills. Yimo disappeared for an entire day. No wonder they were so worried. Yimo quickly stood out and said loudly, everyone, lately, I've used up all my pill concoction materials, and due to concocting pills for a day and night, my sea of consciousness is a bit damaged. I need to go into solitary cultivation for a few days. Please come over a bit later. This was a right excuse. Solitary cultivation? I'm afraid you can't go into solitary cultivation now. An extremely cold voice sounded. This voice was so cold that instant second powerful force pushed people back. It's WN Tong Tong, ranked 273 on the God rank. People immediately recognized this person. Next to her is God rank 121 Xie Li. Pill Divine Yi has trouble now. Hee, perhaps our opportunity has come. If Pill Divine Yi speaks, we'll attack. Idiot, do you think the people from the God rank are like ordinary Dao Actualization Divine Emperor? They can instantly kill 3 or 4 ordinary Dao Actualization Divine Emperors. Yimo looked at this woman. She was Dao Actualization Divine Emperor peak stage. She was extremely tall. The Dao Actualization Divine Emperor next to her had even stronger Dao waves than her. Yimo suddenly regretted. If he knew that WN Tong Tong would come for his trouble at this time, he wouldn't need to have left the Void Marketplace. He would wait till she kicked him away and then come back to buy tickets. You're quite bold. Do you think that just because you're a Pill Divine, you don't need to worry? WN Tong Tong looked at Yimo in contempt. Yimo said casually, I've never seen your brother. His death has nothing to do with me. If you have to blame his death on me, then whatever. You're a Pill Divine and I don't dare to attack you now indeed. If you have the balls, then accept my challenge. I formally challenge you now. WAN Tun Tong said. Even if WN Tun Tong didn't attack him, Yimo planned to challenge her. He didn't understand why she attacked him. There was no way she didn't know he didn't kill her brother. She knew this and she still challenged him, who was a pill divine. What did this mean? In order to prevent others from disturbing our battle, if you're willing to accept the challenge, then we'll clash in the void. Hearing this, Yimo realized. She wasn't here to get revenge for her brother, she was here for his wealth. A mere Tao actualization divine emperor dared to greed after his things. Yimo sneered inside. However, she was lucky as he wouldn't kill her. Just when Yimo was thinking about how to disappear from the void marketplace, a deal came up to him. If he was chased away by Wn Tuntong, then he could come back in a new outfit and buy the light heart. Yimo didn't say much and said to Tang Xiaoyu, "Go do your thing, I need to resolve conflicts with this Wn Tuntong." Tang Xiaoyu quickly said, "Yimo, this has nothing to do with you, why are you fighting her?" In Tang Xiaoyu's eyes, there was no way Yimo was a match for Wn Tuntong. It was suicide. A sliver of joy flashed across Wn Tuntong's eyes and she immediately said, "Seeing as how you have some courage, if you can last more than 5 minutes with me, I can let you live." She turned to that man and said, "Marshal brother, hi, wait for me here for half a day. After I get my revenge I will come back immediately." Then she sneered at Yimo, "Let's go." Yimo chased up without hesitation. After leaving the void marketplace, Wn Tuntong realized a top-grade flying god artifact. Yimo took out his space-time boat and followed her closely. Yimo followed her, but on the way, he left clear marks. Wn Tuntong didn't notice this at all. When she saw Yimo's flying magic artifact, she rejoiced. It was just as Yimo guessed. She had already discussed with Xie Li. After she killed Yimo, they would split Yimo's things. Half a day later, Wn Tuntong stopped and threw out a teleportation formation disc and said, "Give me everything you have, I might not kill you." Yimo couldn't be bothered talking to her and realized Zi Shu. If he didn't need to let this woman spread news for him, he would have killed her in one strike. Crevice God Art was only an ordinary God Art amongst Yimo's arsenal, but Yimo attacked with full power. He wanted to see what the top 300 of the God rank was like. Wn Tuntong clearly didn't expect Yimo to say nothing and attack straight up. She released a 5-color full moon bracelet. The 5 colors shone and instantly formed a shield blocking Yimo's purple ray. Thud. The crevice purple ray landed on this shield and scattered rainbow colors. Wn Tuntong felt her sea of consciousness rumble. She was very shocked. It was just a simple clash to test each other, but Yimo's powerful god essence and spirit sense made her unable to believe it. She was someone of the god rank. Ordinary Tao actualization peak stage was nothing to her. To be able to shake her sea of consciousness, it meant that his power was stronger than ordinary Tao actualization divine emperor. No wonder he dared to come, he thought he was strong. No matter what, she was going to kill him. She threw out the formation disc and in a blink, Xie Li appeared next to her. "Marshal brother Xie, this person isn't weak. He's slightly stronger than ordinary Tao actualization divine emperor," Wn Tuntong said. Xie Li sneered, "No wonder you dare to come out alone. I heard this person earned nearly 1 billion god crystals in one day and piles of materials and god spirit herbs. I think he still has quite a lot of god pills on him now. Marshal sister Tong Tong, let's finish the battle quickly." However, before he attacked Yimo, Yimo used transmission and disappeared. "Let's chase, he won't be able to escape." Xie Li sneered. "It seems he's no ordinary Tao nourishment divine emperor. He broke free from our combined domain. Perhaps he has other secrets. Wait, why did he leave a trail of these magic artifact fragments after leaving and some broken armor?" Wn Tuntong grabbed out a few magic artifact fragments from where Yimo disappeared. "Haha, you two earned a huge sum just then. We came just in time. However, we can only see some magic artifact fragments." That's right, a mere Tao nourishment divine emperor is quite amazing to last a few seconds with you two. Before the two could leave, a huge laughter sounded and a few more people appeared around them. Xie Li frowned. "Bailey Hong, what do you mean?" If it wasn't that Bailey Hong was also on the god rank, Xie Li would have attacked already. This guy wasn't ranked much lower than him. There were 3 people who came. The leading man sneered, "Let's cut the crap. Don't even tell me about Wan Tuntong's revenge. We've been watching the Pill Divine Yi for an entire day. We don't need a lot of his materials and god crystals. Just split us 40%. Xie Li and Wan Tuntong finally realized why Yi Mo threw down those magic artifact fragments. They didn't even have time to be angry over how shameless Yi Mo was, as they were facing 3 Dao actualization divine emperors no weaker than them. There was no use in explaining now. No one would believe a Dao nourishment pill divine would be able to escape 2 god rank masters. Plus, there were this many marks left at the scene. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2151 Primordial Spirit Artifact. Chapter 2151 Primordial Spirit Artifact. Yi Mo was already very far from the battlegrounds now. Even if the two weren't stopped, there was no way they would be able to chase up to him. If he didn't need the two to tell everyone he ran away, he would have killed them on the spot. After cultivating in the Golden Page world for a few days, he changed himself into a dark-robed Dao Essence Divine Emperor and entered the Void Marketplace again. Yi Mo didn't believe anyone would be able to recognize him. Even a Primordial Essence Divine Emperor would have to have seen him before to recognize him. He had turned into a cocky dark-robed Dao Essence Divine Emperor. Most stealth cultivation methods suppressed their power levels, but only Yi Mo could change his cultivation level to a higher one. As soon as Yi Mo entered the Void Marketplace, he knew that the news of the auction had leaked. The entrance was squeezed full with all sorts of divine emperors. They all came to seek one door ticket. Many people knew that even if they got in the auction, they wouldn't be able to buy anything, but they were still willing to go in and see things. Yi Mo rejoiced that he bought the tickets early. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to get in. If he knew this would happen, he should have bought large sums of tickets and resold him. But Yi Mo only just thought about it. He knew that if he wanted the light heart he couldn't do this. The auction would open 2 hours later. Yi Mo walked around and came before his stall. Yi Mo found in shock that his stall was still there. There were still some divine emperors discussing. Yi Mo walked up. What a pity. Pill Divine Yi was such a good Dao actualization pill divine, but was killed after concocting pills for 1 day. Yeah, that previous stall owner Wan Feijian had nothing to do with Pill Divine Yi. That Wan Tongtong thinks she's from the god rank and thus could do anything. Well, she got what she deserved. So what if she killed Pill Divine Yi? She's beaten into heavy injury. If she didn't have an astral transmission rune, she would have died already. Hearing this, Yi Mo realized that the traps he set behind were useful. Yi Mo was in a great mood now. Although he couldn't teach her a lesson personally, it was still good that the dogs bit each other. You said Pill Divine Yi was killed? An extremely serious voice sounded. Yi Mo became careful. This person was definitely a Dao Essence Divine Emperor peak stage. Just from his tone, he could tell that this person had killed too many. Yes, Pill Divine Yi was killed. Wan Tongtong and Xie Li hunted him and Pill Divine Yi was killed in the void by them. People on the side quickly said. The blue-faced Divine Emperor frowned and sneered, where are those two? They were beaten into heavy injury and escaped with secret techniques. Where are the people who beat them? What are their names? It's Bailey Hong and, before the Divine Emperor, this blue-faced Dao Essence Divine Emperor already disappeared. Yi Mo looked at this person in confusion. He had never seen this guy before, but he seemed desperate to find him. The reason the stall was still here was probably due to the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. They were hoping he wasn't killed and would come back. But even if Yi Mo was to come back using his original identity, that would be after he reached Dao Actualization Divine Emperor or even Dao Essence Divine Emperor. When Yi Mo left from here and returned to the door of the auction, the grounds were already open. As a cocky and violent Dao Essence Divine Emperor, no one dared to come talk to him when he entered. Yi Mo had never seen a room that costed 50 million god crystals. He was certain that the organizers of this auction would at least make 100 billion. But Yi Mo knew this wasn't much. Just protecting the light heart would need multiple Tao Essence Divine Emperors to protect it. This costed money. After entering the room, Yimo felt it was only so-so. There were just some restrictions, but in terms of area and immortal fruits, it was worse than ordinary auction rooms. Yimo didn't care about this. The first thing he did coming in was to set up all sorts of restrictions. He wasn't going to let people scan their spirit sense in his room no matter what. The auction was very big. In here, even ordinary seats had restrictions to protect them. No one's spirit sense could scan in. Everyone who came could only see one place, and that was the center stage. After Yimo set up restrictions, he sat for 15 minutes and a grey-robed old man appeared on the stage. Even through the restrictions, Yimo could tell this old man was a Tao Essence Divine Emperor. The old man saluted with his fists and said, "Immortal friends, every item sold here will be one that will shock a realm. I won't waste much time. The first item is called Immortal Extermination Stick." Yimo didn't know what this was, but as soon as the old man said this, the entire lobby and all the rooms rustled about. The old man raised his hand and calmed people down before continuing, "I believe not many wouldn't know what this is. That's right, Immortal Extermination Stick is a primordial spirit artifact." Hearing this, Yimo took in a cold breath. This was something even Primordial Essence Divine Emperor would fight over. This was something many levels higher than extreme grade god artifact. This wasn't something that could be forged. Who was dumb enough to sell it? The old man coughed. Of course, although it's a primordial spirit artifact, it's broken due to some reasons. It's no longer considered a primordial spirit artifact. Hearing this, Yimo thought that was right. But even a broken primordial spirit artifact wasn't something ordinary extreme grade god artifact could compare with. The old man didn't continue talking. He opened the wooden box on the table and took out a black stick. Even though it was broken, the powerful force could still be felt. People's sea of consciousness was shaking when their spirit sense landed on the stick. There's no starting price. The highest bidder gets it. The bidding begins now. The old man said. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2152 Insane Auction. Chapter 2152 Insane Auction. 200 million God crystals plus 2 middle grade God spirit range. Someone bid. Yimo wasn't interested in this stick, but hearing this first bid, his heart sunk. Clearly, the final price would be much higher than this, maybe even 10 times more. Thus, it was really questionable if he could take down the light heart. He had 2 billion God crystals and 2 extreme grade God spirit ranges. He had a few more top grade God spirit ranges. As for middle grade, Yimo didn't even bother calculating. Middle grade God spirit range definitely wasn't enough to buy primordial spirit artifact. 500 million God crystals and a top grade God spirit range. Someone else bid. The price kept going up until the stick was bought with 1 billion God crystals and 1 top grade God spirit range. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor used the teleportation formation on the stage to send the stick to the bidder before taking out the second jade box. I believe no one wouldn't know the second item. It's a cosmic lotus. As soon as these 2 words came out, it caused even more ruckus. Even Yimo was extremely shocked. Just what auction was this? He was thinking about cosmic lotus when he bought the 9-star bamboo. Now, he really saw one. The cosmic lotus had 9 petals and a seed. The seed could be eaten alone to learn Tao essence, or if it was used in pill concoction with the petals, it could be concocted into the cosmic Tao pill. The Qian essence Tao fruit was also one to help people reach Tao essence, but everyone knew it was far from as valuable as the cosmic lotus. Yimo really wanted the cosmic lotus, but he knew his fortunes were limited. The auctioneer held his hands to quiet down everyone before continuing. The cosmic lotus is left here by someone to auction. We don't get to decide if the final price is high or low. He will sell the lotus to whoever gives him the thing he wants the most. I'll bid 800 million God crystals and 1 top grade God spirit range. Someone who could bid such price were pretty much all from the rooms. 1 billion God crystals and 1 top-grade God spirit range and 1 Du Yuan Eye. Du Yuan Eye was something extremely good. It can be used to concoct God Eye pill. Even direct usage can clear up one's eyes. Just the second bid made the scene fall silent. Are there any other bids? The Tao Essence Divine Emperor knew this price was a bit awkward. 1 billion God crystals wasn't high, but that Du Yuan Eye stopped many people from bidding. Just when everyone thought this would be the price, a new bid appeared: 1 top-grade God spirit range and 2 great primordial God rune Tao fruits. As soon as this price came out, it caused a huge ruckus. Cosmic Lotus was a Tao fruit and it was worth much more than ordinary Tao fruits, but the great primordial God rune Tao fruit was a powerful Tao fruit. It wasn't as good as the Cosmic Lotus, but too was bidded. The only drawback to this bid was no God crystals. Clearly, Yimo bid this. Even the auctioneer was touched. He didn't understand why the bidder didn't auction these things. After a while, no one else bid again. The scene fell silent. Due to privacy measures, the seller and bidder's identities wouldn't be exposed. Everyone wondered if this person had more great primordial God rune Tao fruits. If he did, would he auction them? 15 seconds later, the Tao Essence Divine Emperor said the seller chose 1 billion God crystals, 1 top-grade God spirit range and 1 Du Yuan Eye. But he wants to ask if the immortal friends with great primordial God rune Tao fruit would exchange other things for the 2 great primordial God rune Tao fruits. Yimo couldn't even be bothered answering and just took back his bid. Seeing this, the Tao Essence Divine Emperor knew that Yimo didn't agree. After exchanging things, the auctioneer was ready to take out the third item when a voice suddenly said, "I'll use 200 million God crystals and a top-grade God spirit range to exchange for 1 great primordial God rune fruit." Would immortal friend agree? This was clearly against the rules of the auction, but the old man said nothing. To him, an extra deal meant extra 10% commission for the auction. No one answered. People realized that this owner of great primordial God rune fruit didn't lack God crystals. What a pity his great primordial God rune Tao fruit wasn't being auctioned. The Tao Essence old man took out another jade box and said the third item is called Abstruse Light Thousand Dark Ship. It's an ancient extreme grade flying god artifact. It's the most suitable for crossing the void. Yimo breathed easy. If it was another primordial spirit artifact, he would be speechless. The extreme grade flying god artifact wasn't worth as much as primordial spirit artifact nor cosmic lotus to Yimo, but to other divine emperors it was the same. The price soared rapidly, making even Yimo think if he should get some top forgery materials to forge extreme grade flying god artifact and sell them. Eventually, this ship was bought for 1.7 billion god crystals. Yimo realized by now that in those complete realms, it didn't seem very hard to get god crystals. The old man took out the fifth item and said, "Everyone, although this jade box is very small, it's actually a space jade box. There's a rune inside the jade box. It's left by an ancient powerful being. You're right, this time, we're selling this rune. It's called Great Primordial God Rune." Hearing this, the scene completely erupted. The Great Primordial God Rune was renowned as one of the most terrifying god arts in the void, as it could ignore space-time. At the very extreme, no matter what space or time law you used against the Great Primordial God Rune, it would be useless. It was extremely hard to cultivate the Great Primordial God Rune and much harder to reach great mastery. But everyone knew that if you reached great mastery, you would have this terrifying aura around you. Yimo breathed slowly. He didn't expect someone to be able to collect the Great Primordial God Rune and sell it. He knew how hard it was to collect the Great Primordial God Rune. After everyone calmed down, the old man explained for the first time, "I'll explain a little about this Great Primordial God Rune. Most people just know of its terror but not its origin." Yimo also listened. "If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2153 Fight over light here. Chapter 2153 Fight over light. Here, when everyone calmed down, the old man said that the great primordial god rune is created by the human race, powerful being great primordial divine emperor. He could use a total of 9 god runes. Each rune could cross endless void. No one had ever escaped from his god rune. Some people think that one could shoot out countless great primordial god runes. That's wrong. The great primordial god rune is different to other god arts. It's a god art that can only be inherited. After great primordial divine emperor died, he left his 9 great primordial god rune Tao waves. If you saw the 9 god runes and learned it, then it's yours. If you only saw 1 god rune and learned it, then you can only use 1 great primordial god rune. You wouldn't be able to learn the 2nd rune yourself just because you're talented. If you want to use the 2nd rune, you would have to find great primordial divine emperor or find the mark of the 2nd rune left behind by his descendants. The Tao essence divine emperor felt the jade box and continued. Usually, the people who mastered great primordial god rune would mark down his great primordial god rune before dying. No matter after how many passings, the total number of great primordial god rune is 9. It can only decrease, not increase. Hearing this, Yimo frowned. This was completely wrong. He saw 2 great primordial god runes and it wasn't left behind by great primordial divine emperor. But now, his 3rd great primordial god rune was about to form. In some time, Yimo would be able to use 3 great primordial god runes. Going like this, in time there would be even 90 great primordial god runes. This old man sighed. Even an ancient powerful being like great primordial divine emperor would die to the hands of others. So, god art is just a mean, not the end result. Okay, back on topic. I have 1 great primordial god rune here. It's left behind by the great primordial divine emperor. Almost everyone guessed that the person with the great primordial god rune Tao fruits would try to buy the great primordial god rune at all costs. Those who wanted to buy the great primordial god rune too was also thinking about how to buy the great primordial god rune Tao fruits after buying the great primordial god rune. Yimo didn't even want to buy the great primordial god rune. Yimo knew that the old man clearly told the truth, but his 3 birth chant was so insane that it broke the law of the great primordial god rune. He can give rise to new great primordial god runes. 1 billion god crystals and 1 top-grade god spirit range. The first bidder said. 1. 5 billion god crystals and 1 top-grade god spirit range. 2 billion god crystals. In less than 5 minutes, the price has risen to 2. 4 billion god crystals and 1 top-grade god spirit range. Yimo looked at the soaring price and didn't even care. He knew that even if the great primordial god rune was bought, people might not be able to learn it. Gong Yang was an example. There were all those talented divine emperors in the god necropolis domain, but the 2 great primordial god rune still stayed in there for countless years. Yimo knew that if he didn't cultivate the 3 birth chant, it would be almost impossible for him to learn the great primordial god rune, much less derive more great primordial god runes. After another 15 minutes, the price set at 3. 4 billion god crystals and 1 top-grade god spirit range. Yimo knew that this price was too high. It was at most worth 300 million top-grade god crystals. The reason it was brought up to this price was because many people thought the great primordial god rune would turn into their god art after buying it. Yimo suspected that the seller sold the great primordial god rune probably because he couldn't learn it and thus had no choice but to sell it. The auctioneer knew this, but he didn't say it clearly. He said god art was just a mean, and that was his hint. If the great primordial god rune could immediately turn into your god art after buying it, then even 34 billion wouldn't be expensive. No immortal friends are bidding, then the great primordial god rune will be sold to you for 3, 4 billion and 1 top-grade god spirit range. The old man said. Many people suspected that this bidder was Yimo, who took out the great primordial god rune Tao fruit. When the scene calmed down, the Tao essence old man took out the next jade box. Yimo's spirit sense had been watching this old man. Although this old man said nothing, Yimo's heart shook. He knew it was light heart. Even though it was bound by the restrictions in the box, that ancient fire Tao wave of the light heart could still be sensed by Yimo. Yimo thought it would be taken out last, but it came out halfway. The old man raised the jade box and said seriously, "This is a true primordial spirit artifact, called Light Heart." As soon as the old man said this, the scene had this murderous Kai clearly, not just a few people came for the Light Heart. Emo could even feel this killing Kai inside his room. Light Heart is also being placed here by a customer for auction. So your prices will be determined by the owner. I will now open the box and show everyone the Light Heart. As soon as the Tao Essence Old opened the box, an extremely intense light shot out. There were slivers of Tao waves in the light. Primordial material was terrifying indeed. This was Yemo's first time seeing primordial material. Little Blue immediately became restless and kept sending Yemo messages that he wanted the Light Heart. If Yemo didn't restrain him, he would have went out to take it. Yemo calmed Little Blue down and had decided to get the Light Heart no matter what. As soon as he got it, he would leave the Void Marketplace. Although the latter items would be even better, it was too dangerous to stay. Everyone start bidding. The Tao Essence Old Man said. 2 billion God crystals and 1 top-grade God spirit range. The first bidder said. Yemo frowned, he only had 2 billion God crystals in total. By the looks of this, even if he accepts Xing Hong's help, he wouldn't be able to buy the Light Heart. 5 billion plus 2 top-grade God spirit range. The second bidder sounded. 1 billion plus 1 extreme grade God spirit range. 2 billion plus 1 extreme grade God spirit range. The price soared like crazy. Yemo knew that if this continued, he wouldn't be able to buy it even at his max price. 1 billion God crystals, 1 extreme grade God spirit range and 1 yellow middle plum Tao fruit. When this bid appeared, the scene fell silent again. What was yellow middle plum? It was one of the 10 great spirit items. The value of just 1 yellow middle plum Tao fruit was no lower than Light Heart. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2155 Thinking of a Way to Leave. Chapter 2155 Thinking of a Way to Leave. He was planning to leave the Void Marketplace as soon as he got the Light Heart. He could use teleportation formation disk to leave at the city gates. He had already set things up. Then, he would keep using instant transmission and eventually fly away with his extreme grade flying magic artifact. Even the most powerful Tao Essence Divine Emperor wouldn't be able to stop him. It was because of this that Yemo dared to participate this auction, but now things didn't seem to go as he expected. Xing Hong said that there was no way there would be Primordial Essence Divine Emperor here, but how did this Primordial Essence Divine Emperor come? Even if he didn't reach Primordial Essence Divine Emperor, he was still a half Primordial Essence. Yemo didn't think he could get away from such person. He might not even be able to leave the Void Marketplace. Yemo didn't put his 2 yellow middle plum on the teleportation formation. He was thinking about how to leave the Void Marketplace. Just when the Tao Essence Old Man didn't know what to do, there was another sneer due according to the rules before. Let the bidder teleport his things to the auction and let everyone see. Hearing this cold sneer, Yemo knew it was the seller. This person was another half Primordial Essence or Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. It was definitely this person who asked him to teleport the yellow middle plum to another place. Since he was the seller, why did he rebuke his rules? Did he want to annihilate him and take his 2 yellow middle plum? Wait, Yemo instantly realized what went wrong. His face looked extremely bad. His mind was completely occupied by the Light Heart that he didn't think about. The yellow middle plum was just picked. Just looking at the time marks on it, a Divine Emperor would be able to recognize it easily. If people saw that his yellow middle plum was just picked, it meant that he had yellow middle plum tree. This meant that he had 5-element world or even chaos world. Thinking about how he bid 2 great primordial god rune Tao fruits, the auction organizers were almost certain he had 5-element world. Yemo's heart sunk. He grew calmer and calmer. He knew that at this time, the slightest mistake would cause him to be gone. Although he knew they would find out, Yemo still took out 2 yellow middle plums and 1 billion god crystals and teleported it to the stage. He didn't care about the Light Heart anymore. He just kept throwing out formation flags. Yimo was going to set up a powerful formation flag. He used all his top formation flags. Now wasn't a time to save materials. Other than this, he was going to completely separate this space using formation from the formation of the auction grounds. At this moment, Yimo's yellow middle plums were teleported to the stage. Almost everyone was looking at the two plums. There were exclamations of shock. After seeing it, everyone knew that they were looking at the real yellow middle plum. 5 minutes later, Yimo stopped setting up formation and said in an icy voice, "The yellow middle plum has been verified for 5 minutes. I believe everyone know if it's real or fake. Why hasn't the auctioneer given me the light heart?" The old man seemed to have just reacted and said awkwardly, "Your immortal friends, due to the yellow middle plum, I forgot about it." Then, he didn't pretend anymore and teleported the light heart to him. The instant it arrived, Yimo sent it into his golden page world immediately. He knew that the light heart was real. What he needed to do now was think about how to leave the auction. The yellow middle plum was taken, and many people knew that this divine emperor not only had the yellow middle plum but also the yellow middle plum tree and even a 5-element world. At this moment, the two yellow middle plum appeared before the skinny old man. The old man looked at one and his eyes shot out hot beams. He didn't know how many years it had been since he had such intense excitement. He placed down the yellow middle plum and said, "This person indeed has the 5-element world and yellow middle plum tree. Grand Divine Emperor, this thing has spilled out. I believe in just a few days, the Void Marketplace would be the world of primordial essence Divine Emperors." One Tao Essence Divine Emperor said worriedly. The skinny old man thought for a long while before saying, "If it wasn't that Luo Juanxia old bastard, we can attack now, but now, we need to settle him first. Send someone to invite him over. Tell him I, Peng Yuan, have important business with him. I believe he will understand." Yes. This Tao Essence Divine Emperor immediately left. Yimo was still in the room and didn't leave. He barricaded all Kai from his room and actually took out a pill cauldron and began pill concoction. In just 15 minutes, 6 black pills were made. Unlike other pills, these pills had no good aroma. It only had violent Kai. This was created by him, Tao Restriction Pill. It could burn his god essence and allow his cultivation level to rise a few levels. However, this pill had very potent side effects. Yimo only dared to use it as he had the Chaos Tree. Yimo immediately ate a Tao Restriction Pill. Powerful Tao waves flowed. Yimo even felt that if he wanted, he could palm all the divine emperors in the auction to powder. But Yimo knew this was an illusion. His power definitely increased, but not as much as he thought. Yimo didn't use the pill to increase his power and charge out. Even if he took another pill, that would be suicide. He immediately took out the golden arrow of divine exterminations and shot out 7. He had refined 6 of them to 99th level of restriction and 1 to the 100th level. However, forcing it to not shoot far and tear the void in a certain range still made Yimo receive strong backlash. After shooting out 7 arrows and spitting mouthfuls of essence blood, a ripple appeared before his space. Yimo was shocked at the sturdiness of the void here. He waved out one region god art, and the moment it formed, he released Murder Dao Spear and burned his god essence and essence blood like crazy as he smashed out multiple spears. The ripple made a small crack under the terrifying lethal force of the Murder Dao Spear. A small crack in the void appeared. Yimo grabbed his bone arrows and formation flags without hesitation and went into the Golden Page world. Then he controlled the Golden Page world to fly into the void crack. After Yimo went inside the Golden Page world, he breathed easy. If he wasn't a formation expert, then even if he was a Tao Essence Divine Emperor and had the Tao Restriction Pill, he wouldn't be able to tear open the void there. The void here was so sturdy that Yimo felt only Primordial Essence Divine Emperor could tear it open. The void here was not only sturdy but also locked by formation and restriction. Such terrifying killing intent. The skinny old man frowned when Yimo took out the Murder Dao Spear. He suddenly got up. Luo Juanxiao is here. Let him sit for a while. I'll go check 79th room. In just a few seconds, he was in Yimo's room. Yimo's restrictions were easily wiped away by him. Tearing open the void. The skinny old man's face was green. Even I can't tear open the void here, and yet a Tao Essence Divine Emperor tore open the void here. What monster is he? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2156 Blue Like Morning Sky Evolution. Chapter 2156 Blue Like Morning Sky Evolution. Sister Bingyu, I'm already abstruse immortal peak stage. There was such a good immortal marrow pond, but that Mu Wushuang didn't take it away. He's really a good person. Sister Bingyu, why don't you cultivate anymore? Jin Bingyu smiled because I'm an immortal king peak stage. If I don't reach immortal spirit herb, cultivating would just condense my immortal essence. With my talent, it would be a bit hard to reach immortal monarch without monarch will pill. Yimo, you're Ari peak stage now. Let's leave and wait till you reach Great Unity Immortal first. But Sister Bingyu, I don't have Great Unity pill. Yimo looked at the immortal marrow pond unwillingly. This place was countless times better than using immortal crystals. Jin Bingyu smiled. Don't worry, let's go. Don't worry about Great Unity pill. Jin Bingyu's Great Unity pills were given to her by Yimo. She didn't expect that Yimo would be able to use them too. Have divine damnation here? Yimo looked at the immortal marrow pond. Definitely not. Although there aren't many people on this level, there are still people. Once the divine damnation draws people's attention, it would be hard for us to come back here and cultivate. Jin Bingyu quickly said. The two left the immortal marrow pond. Zbayu was planning to take Yimo to find an open space for divine damnation, but after just going for a few hours, rumbles of lightning caught Jin Bingyu's attention. Then, Yimo saw the lightning too. Sister Bingyu, is someone having divine damnation? Jin Bingyu nodded yes, it's also Immortal King divine damnation. Someone is breaking through to Immortal King. Have a look, it would help you reaching Great Unity Immortal. Yimo followed Jin Bingyu and came up to the divine damnation grounds. Before Jin Bingyu finished talking, Yimo called out in surprise and joy, _auntie. Jin Bingyu recognized that it was Su Jingwen having the divine damnation. Protecting her was Tang Beiwei. They looked for these two before but weren't able to find them, but now they met through this divine damnation. You're Yimo. Tang Beiwei was watching outside nervously and immediately noticed Jin Bingyu and Yimo. Tang Beiwei and Yimo immediately charged up to each other and embraced. Yimo, you not only ascended but are also abstruse immortal peak stage. This is so great. Tang Beiwei knew how much her brother liked Yimo. Seeing Yimo safe, she was extremely happy. Rumble, a few lightning arcs came struck down interrupting them. Tang Beiwei just woke up and quickly said Yimo, brother would be very happy to know you're here. Sister Jingwen is having her Immortal King divine damnation. After she finishes, we'll talk. Yimo nodded and grabbed Jin Bingyu's hand saying Sister Bingyu, this is my auntie Tang Beiwei, the one having divine damnation is my auntie Jingwen. Jin Bingyu smiled. I know Sister Beiwei. Sister Bingyu, thank you for helping Yimo. Tang Beiwei greeted Jin Bingyu. Then, they all focused on watching Su Jingwen's Immortal King divine damnation. Su Jingwen's talent was extremely amazing. With Yimo's cultivation resources, her progress speed was unimaginable. The Immortal King divine damnation was nothing to her. Another 2 hours passed. Su Jingwen had finished her divine damnation and started consolidating her power. Seeing this, the other three felt assured and started to talk. Yimo, your dad is so worried about you, but now I can finally feel assured. Su Jingwen came up to them quickly. Soon, the four had chatted for more than 2 hours. Su Jingwen just remembered Sister Bingyu, you're about to have your divine damnation too, right? After you reach Immortal Spirit Herb, we don't need to worry in the Chaos Star Realm. Jin Bingyu didn't think that much and smiled in self-mockery after handing Yimo to you guys. I will be going to the Grand Heaven Domain to find chance to break through Immortal Spirit Herb. Su Jingwen suddenly thought of something and took out a storage ring to Jin Bingyu. Sister Bingyu, your cultivation things are here. Jin Bingyu took it in confusion. Mine? Just have a look and you'll know. Su Jingwen smiled. Zhen Bingyu's spirit sense scanned inside and her hands shook, almost dropping the storage ring. Monoquil pill, Great Void Meridian pill, Tai Wei Emperor Return pill, immortal crystals and extreme grade immortal range. With all these things, she didn't need to go find cultivation resources at all. But Zhen Bingyu really wanted to say that her liking Yi Mo had nothing to do with these things. Although Zhen Bingyu grew up in the immortal realm and seemed older than Su Jingwen, but in terms of emotions, 10 Zhen Bingyus couldn't match with Su Jingwen. Now that Zhen Bingyu couldn't speak, Su Jingwen knew what she meant and came up grabbing her hand. Sister Bingyu, if he didn't have you in his heart, he wouldn't leave behind these things. Don't worry, I didn't make the decision. Great, Sister Bingyu, have divine damnation first. I'll have it last. Yi Mo said happily. Yi Mo was injured greatly when tearing open the void. The moment he laid in the golden page world, he breathed easy. He was certain that if the two guys in the auction weren't primordial essence divine emperor and only halfway primordial essence, they wouldn't be able to tear open the space. Even if a primordial essence divine emperor tore open the void, he might not appear in the same realm as him. Even if one tore open the void at the exact same place and appeared in the same realm, the final destination might be millions of kilometers away. The reason he could tear open the void at the auction was mainly due to the murder Dao spear. Without the murder Dao spear, even if he used the 7 golden arrow of divine extermination, he wouldn't be able to tear open the void. Yi Mo didn't even know if it was good to melt the murder Dao spear anymore. Yi Mo laid in the golden page world and slowly recovered his injuries. The golden page world seemed very calm now. Even Shadowless was cultivating much less other people. A few days later, Yi Mo injuries were completely recovered. He felt he was fine. Thus, Yi Mo sent his spirit sense carefully out of the golden page world. What appeared in his sea of consciousness was completely darkness. This was different to ordinary void. He had never seen this type of void before. He had been through all sorts of voids. But usually, there were many illuminating objects in the void and thus he could see some light. It was his first time seeing complete darkness in here. The first thing Yi Mo took out now was the light heart. Yi Mo collected his feelings and just when he was about to open it, he felt a spirit sense mark. This was made on the surface of the box. Yi Mo sneered but didn't destroy the restriction. He just opened the jade box. The vibrant rays of the light heart shot out, forming heat waves. Blue like morning skies fire spirit Little Blue immediately jumped around in a craze. Yi Mo released Little Blue without hesitation. Little Blue was like a thirsty person in the desert. It charged at the light heart and instantly swept around the light heart. Extremely terrifying heat waves spread. Rays of vibrant blue spread in this extreme heat like crazy. As time flew, the blue color and temperature that spread out were slowly collected back by Little Blue. The surface temperature of Little Blue grew lower and lower and the blue color became more receded until a blue flower floated in front of Yi Mo. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2157 Melt Murder Dao Spear. Chapter 2157 Melt Murder Dao Spear. Boss, I've reached Divine Flame. Give me that shitty spear. I'll melt it immediately. Little Blue's excited voice sounded. Okay. Yi Mo immediately threw the Murder Dao Spear to Little Blue. Yi Mo knew the Murder Dao Spear was very powerful. He was certain that if he spirit controlled a few more levels of restriction, it would be very useful even against Dao Essence Divine Emperor. However, he was worried about the spear. However, when he threw the Murder Dao Spear to Little Blue, the Murder Dao Spear was no longer tame like before. A terrifying and powerful murderous intent erupted that instantly broke free from Little Blue's bindings and disappeared into the heavens. Yi Mo was very shocked. Little Blue was a divine flame now and yet the Murder Dao Spear could still break free. He gave the Murder Dao Spear to Little Blue to burn for nearly a year and removed some impure Kai, but it didn't affect the Murder Dao Spear at all. Didn't that mean the reason the Murder Dao Spear was burned was because it was willing? Now that blue like morning sky reached divine flame and murder Dao spear knew danger, that's why it fled. Boss, there's a spear spirit inside the spear. I didn't notice it and it got away. Let me catch it. Little Blue felt very embarrassed. Yimo waved his hand, no need. Yimo grabbed in the void and the missing murder Dao spear appeared in his hand again. In his golden page world, even if the murder Dao spear was 10 times stronger, he wouldn't be able to get away. The murder Dao spear jumped around uneasily in Yimo's hands. Yimo's spirit sense didn't notice spear spirit, but the restlessness and murderous intent was seeping out. Really amazing. I've spirit controlled the first level of restriction and yet I didn't know there's a spear spirit hiding in here. Hihi, Yimo sneered. Clearly, the spear spirit had no good intentions hiding there. If it had good intentions, it would recognize him as master and he would know the existence of the spear spirit. No wonder he always felt uneasy about the murder Dao spear. But then Yimo immediately noticed something was wrong. If the spear spirit was really that powerful, then it should know about him buying the light heart. It should know that if he got the light heart, Little Blue would reach divine flame and it would be melted. The murder Dao spear shouldn't have helped him escape. Little Blue, never mind, just melt the spear first. Yimo didn't know what was inside the spear and let Little Blue try again. The blue like morning sky swept around the murder Dao spear this time and it couldn't escape. Under 2 layers of binding from Yimo and Little Blue, there was no way it could escape. The divine flame carried piercing blue flames and the impure Kai on the surface was immediately melted. There was a cracking sound and this extremely violent killing intent ravaged in the flames as though it would break free from blue like morning sky and Yimo and charge out of the golden page world. Knowing this, Yimo and blue like morning sky worked together to suppress this killing intent. Those killing intent and killing Kai eventually formed Dao waves. Each one of these Dao waves were extremely strong. It was as though any one of them could easily kill a Dao essence divine emperor. Boss, I understand now. It's not a spear spirit, it's murder Dao. Little Blue's voice sounded. Yimo asked in confusion, what is murder Dao? This spear is definitely a primordial spirit artifact and an extremely powerful one amongst primordial spirit artifact. It was born to kill divine emperors. Countless divine emperors have died to this spear and the impure Kai on it are the Dao waves of all the dead divine emperors. This spear would eventually slay its master. Countless masters have been slayed by it. Each time it kills a divine emperor, it would suck their essence blood and Dao waves. These essence blood and Dao waves formed murder Dao in the spear. Yimo didn't doubt at all that a lot of masters of the spear had been slayed. Which Dao vindication powerful being weren't extremely talented and confident in themselves? How could they believe that they would be slayed by a spear? Even Yimo wouldn't believe he would be killed by a spear he spirit controlled. But Yimo trusted his instincts extremely high ever since he cultivated the 3-birth chant. The murder Dao spear gave him a bad feeling and that's why he was so adamant on destroying it. Otherwise, with how the murder Dao spear helped him twice, there was no way Yimo would melt it. It has extremely terrifying restriction and if it is to be fused into Zishu's power would be no weaker than murder Dao spear. However, we must refine the murder Dao inside the spear and destroy it. This would take many years. Little Blue said. Yimo fell silent for a while. The restrictions of the spear are primordial restrictions. Zishu restrictions can be changed with upgrades. Just refine out the murder Dao in the spear and I'll seal it. Then you help me upgrade Zishu. Yimo knew that even as a divine flame, it wouldn't be easy for Little Blue to melt the murder Dao spear completely. So when Little Blue began work, Yimo left the golden page world and released Spacetime Boat. He tried to get out of this dark void as quickly as possible. The void here was pitch black and could block spirit sense. Yimo's spirit sense could only stretch out tens of thousands of kilometers. But this was enough for Yimo. He chose a direction and charged forward with full speed. With this void marketplace marker, Yimo didn't believe he would get lost in the void. There were too many races in the void and too many realms. If he found any realm, he would be able to ask about the void marketplace. The idea sounded good, but even with his spacetime boat speed, he had been flying in the void for years and still had no clue. Just when Yimo felt he should change a direction, he sensed Little Blue's calling. Yimo immediately knew that the murder Dao spear was melted, and he put away the space-time boat and came back into the Golden Page world. In the Golden Page world, a purple liquid emitting Dao waves floating in the blue like morning sky. There was also a grey layer on it. Other than that, Tel was also a red Kai floating on the other side of the blue like morning sky. Yimo knew that red Kai was the murder Dao inside murder Dao spear. The purple Dao wave liquid was definitely the melted primordial material. Yimo took out a jade box and sent the red Kai inside before putting on restrictions. After this, Yimo threw Zishu into blue like morning sky and used his spirit sense to help blue like morning sky refine Zishu. Yimo was a powerful forgery grandmaster, and with Little Blue's help now, Zishu didn't have much trouble getting upgraded. When Yimo's spirit sense fell on the purple Dao wave liquid, all sorts of information filled over, almost twisting Yimo's sea of consciousness. There were cultivation Kai, God Art Kai, void space Kai. Little Blue, what is this? How is it still not burned out? Yimo asked. If these messy Kai was fused into Zishu, it would be the worst. Little Blue quickly said, I've already refined out the chaotic Kai, they're just sticking to the surface of this purple material. It's probably information left behind by divine emperors killed by the murder Dao spear. I was afraid it would be useful to you, so I kept it. Yimo quickly said, separate them immediately. No matter how useful it is, it can't be fused into Zishu. Hearing this, Little Blue immediately swept away the grey Kai on the purple liquid. Without the grey layer, the purple liquid shined even brighter. Yimo sealed the grey Kai with jade box and then helped Little Blue fused the purple liquid into Zishu. Even if a primordial spirit artifact was melted into primordial material, the restrictions on it were still primordial restrictions. Little Blue intentionally didn't break it, so the restrictions were still there. Zishu was visibly getting stronger. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2158 Powerful Rezel. Chapter 2158 Powerful Rezel. A few days later, when those purple liquid completely fused into Zishu, Zishu became ordinary looking. It seemed like an extremely ordinary purple sword floating in a blue flame, but its aura didn't disappear. It still circulated around Zishu. At this moment, Yimo couldn't help at all, and even Little Blue was pushed away. The aura around Zishu kept changing, and even Yimo couldn't tell what was going on. Another few hours later, Zishu suddenly made a crisp sound and the aura completely disappeared. It truly became an ordinary purple sword. Yimo looked dazedly at this purple sword, completely not expecting Zishu that fused with murder Dao spear would look this ordinary. It had no killing Kai, no blade ray. Yimo grabbed this sword into his hand, and this extremely familiar yet strange feeling came up his heart. As a forgery divine, he couldn't even tell what level this sword was. This wasn't an extreme grade god artifact nor a primordial spirit artifact. Yimo suddenly had this realization. Murder Dao spear was a primordial material that grew into the murder Dao spear. It had all the primordial and royal Kai. However, he used divine flame to melt the spear and fuse it into Zishu. This was like his cultivation method. Whether it was 3 birth chants sever Dao and then vindicate Dao, or body refinement cultivations nirvana, it was the same logic. It severed all the sharp Kai and became something that truly fused the Dao waves of the world. It didn't have the sharp Kai, but it contained its power inside. Yimo learned that his Dao was contained in this too. If one day he reached primordial essence, his Kai would return to ordinary just like a mortal. Yimo's mind flashed across all the divine emperors or immortal emperors he had seen. Even if some of their Kai was collected, no one could completely reach the level of an ordinary person. Suddenly, his heart was shook. He thought of someone. It was that fortune teller he saw in the small world, Master Tianzi. He suspected he saw that old man on Luoyu continent, but he didn't think of that much at the time. Now, that he learned this sliver of Dao wave, he immediately thought of that old Daoist. Tianzi had such Kai, that extremely ordinary Kai that seemed to have fused into everything. Realizing this, Yi Mo was shocked. If Tianziyi was really as he thought, could he accidentally leave behind the five-element stool? After a long while, Yi Mo shook his head. He couldn't think through this and didn't want to keep thinking about it. He subconsciously started to spirit control Zishu. This was the first time that he needed to spirit control Zishu again after upgrading it. When Yi Mo's spirit sense seeped into Zishu, he found that Zishu's restriction wasn't like Murder Dao Spear's restrictions. It became 9 completely new restrictions. When Yi Mo started on the first level, he found there were 9 chained restrictions inside. From this, it was clear that the second level of restriction had 18 chained restrictions. At this rate, the 9th level had 81 chained restrictions. Yi Mo knew now that Zishu was probably a level higher than the Murder Dao Spear. Wasn't that Beyond Primordial Spirit Artifact then? Wait, Beyond Primordial Spirit Artifact is Divine Artifact. That is a Chaos Treasure. Even if Zishu is a bit stronger than Murder Dao Spear, it can't be Divine Treasure. Divine Treasure is born of Chaos, but he upgraded Zishu. Yi Mo didn't think about Zishu's level anymore. He found that Zishu didn't disappoint him. Zishu was his magic artifact and upgraded by him, so it was much easier to spirit control than the Murder Dao Spear. Restrictions were spirit controlled and Yi Mo immersed into this. 10 years later, Yi Mo suddenly got up. He found that he only used 10 years to completely spirit control Zishu. He had finished all 9 levels of restrictions. Until now, Yi Mo finally realized Zishu's power. He was certain that if he fought with Dao Essence Divine Emperor again, even if he just used Zishu, he would be no weaker than them. If he was in that auction room again, Yi Mo was confident he could hack open the space there. This was confidence brought to him by Zishu. From now on, he finally had a good offensive magic artifact. He didn't need to use Zishu that was lesser than a low-grade god artifact to fight with other people's top-grade god artifact. Yi Mo waved his hand and Zishu appeared in his Dantian. Zishu no longer needed to be put in storage ring or golden page world. As long as it was nourished in his god essence, it would keep improving. Yi Mo was feeling great. He grabbed that red Murder Dao Kai. As soon as Yi Mo's spirit sense touched it, he felt this terrifying violent killing intent. Although he learned a sliver of Dao wave from Zishu's upgrade, his real cultivation level was still just a Dao nourishment Divine Emperor. That terrifying Murder Dao Kai almost twisted Yi Mo's sea of consciousness. Yi Mo had never seen such terrifying Murder Dao Kai. Little Blue was right. Murder Dao Spear killed countless Divine Emperors and devoured their killing intent to form this red Murder Dao Kai. This Murder Dao was Murder Dao Spear's Dao. If Yi Mo didn't fuse Murder Dao Spear into Zishu, then perhaps one day, Murder Dao Spear would vindicate Dao and became the #1 slaughter weapon of the universe. Yi Mo sighed and continued to seal this Murder Dao Kai. He felt he couldn't control it yet. The slaughtering intent inside was too terrifying. Yi Mo grabbed that grey Kai again, and when he scanned his spirit sense in, all sorts of impure Kai came rushing at all. Yi Mo didn't kick them away this time. He knew that the Kai inside came from the ancient powerful beings who died to Murder Dao Spear. As a solo cultivator who had no sect nor master, these information were extremely important to him. If he organized them and cast away the useless information, the rest would be very useful to him. Yi Mo put away Little Blue and the golden page world fell silent again. Everyone had their own thing to do and Yi Mo was immersed in organizing the information. A few years later, that grey Kai disappeared and Yi Mo remembered the useful information. All sorts of God spirit items, Dao fruit, and chaos spirit items. Primordial materials. Pill recipes, forgery knowledge, formation, runes, Dao vindication pathways. It wasn't just knowledge that appeared in his mind but also learnings of Dao waves and God art that only came with time. Yi Mo was extremely surprised and joyful. He didn't expect that gust of grey Kai to be this precious. It was no lesser in value than that purple primordial material. He lacked these things the most. Otherwise, he would have heard about the light heart. From these information, Yi Mo soon knew where he was. He was in a place called the Dark Void. This was a region of void between the Void Marketplace, Demon Realm and Phoenix Realm. He got another more important information from someone called Yuan. The life goal of this person was to find Meng Zhon and rob his 3 pages of primordial golden pages and go to a place in the void to collect a gust of chaos Kai. Yimo didn't know where Meng Zhon died, but his 3 golden pages were in his hands now. Chaos Kai was an essence Kai of the world that was born when the world was first created. Yuan didn't have Chaos World, so he couldn't collect the Kai. That's why he wanted to kill Meng Zhon. However, he died to the murder Dao spear somehow. Yimo didn't move. He took out a jade bead and in just a few seconds, he printed a vast void map into the bead. Inside was a golden spot, and that was the ball of Chaos Kai in Yuan's memories. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2159 Dao Actualization. Chapter 2159 Dao Actualization. In the dark void, Yimo sped through like crazy with his space-time boat. Chaos Kai was extremely precious to other people, and to him, it was like his life. This was because he not only had the Chaos World but also Chaos Tree. According to the information left behind by Yuan, the Chaos Kai was sitting in the depth of the dark void. The dark void was boundless and had no god spirit Kai nor any precious things, therefore rarely did people come here. Yuan was trapped in here, unable to leave, and thus after staying for a few 100,000 years, he found a Chaos Kai ball. Yuan resisted his excitement and didn't touch it. Instead, he marked it. He thought that if he couldn't find a way out in another 10,000 years, he would break the ball and get as much as he can. Yuan knew that Chaos Kai balls would slowly dissipate in the void if opened and not taken in time. What Yuan didn't expect was that he was extremely lucky and only used a few 100 years to find a way out and came to the border demon realm. Despite this, Yuan didn't go out immediately. He continued to map the dark void, fearing he would never be able to find the Chaos Kai once he left. After another few millennia of searching, he completely mastered how to judge direction in the dark voice. Only then did he leave the dark void. He had decided to use all means necessary to rob a chaos item. Even if he couldn't get the 3 golden pages, he would find another chaos item to take away the Chaos Kai ball. However, he never came back ever since he went out. He died to the murder Dao spear. If Yimo didn't melt the murder Dao spear, no one would ever know this secret again. A few years later, Yimo stopped at a place no different to everywhere else. However, Yimo knew that Yuan said the ball of Chaos Kai was here. The darkness here was different to other places. There was a sliver of spirit in this darkness. It was extremely subtle, and if one didn't watch carefully, one wouldn't notice at all. Yimo was certain that if he didn't get news from Yuan, even if he went past here tens of times, he wouldn't notice it. He didn't know how many times Yuan went past here, but Yimo knew that Yuan was definitely much stronger than him. Yimo carefully went towards the region with spirit. 3 days later, Yimo suddenly saw a milky white aura appear before him. Yimo caught this indescribable Kai. Yimo rejoiced like crazy. He was certain the information was true. The milky white aura was where the Chaos Kai ball was. The next moment, Yimo put away the space-time boat and came next to a huge white cocoon. Chaos Kai was sealed by the white cocoon. Yimo could still feel the intense Chaos Kai. The next moment, Yimo put away the space-time boat and came up to the huge white cocoon. Chaos Kai was bound by the cocoon, but Yimo could still feel the Chaos Kai there. This dense Chaos Kai was ever more pure than the Golden Page World's Chaos Kai when he first got it. Yimo didn't hesitate at all and tore open this cocoon and went inside. At the same time, he opened the Golden Page World, wanting to send all the Kai inside. As soon as Yimo went in the white cocoon, that world creation grand force struck into his will. Yimo instantly lost consciousness. That white cocoon exploded and countless soft Chaos Kai wrapped Yimo. A 3-meter-tall green tree suddenly rose above Yimo's head and swept in the white Chaos Kai like crazy. All Yimo's senses had been barricaded at this moment. The milky white Chaos Kai wasn't swept into the Golden Page World like Yimo imagined. It was devoured by the rose that rose from his head. The chaos tree devoured the chaos Kai like crazy and grew like crazy. Waves of Dao Kai circulated around Yimo's consciousness, gradually fused into the endless world creation Dao. Great Dao had no mark, no need for sharp edges. Time flew by as the chaos tree grew and Yimo was in enlightenment. Meanwhile, the chaos Kai ball kept reducing. This ball of chaos Kai was too big. Even after a few decades, the white Kai was still circulating around Yimo. The chaos tree had grown to 100 meters tall. Its branches covered this region of space. Feeling that Yimo was learning Dao in the chaos Kai, the chaos tree also seeped out some Dao waves to help Yimo learn Dao. Yimo was completely immersed in his enlightenment of his Dao. The little enlightenment coming from upgrading Zishu was now infinitely expanded and it became clearer and clearer before forming his Dao. Barriers were being torn. Yimo didn't even realize he reached Dao actualization. His enlightenment kept increasing. However, he didn't have any God Spirit Kai to help him. The first to notice this was Small Ginseng. Small Ginseng was very sensitive to natural spirit items. When Yimo opened the Golden Page world, although he couldn't send in the Chaos Kai, a part of it was taken into the Golden Page world. Small Ginseng woke up and immediately left the Golden Page world, coming outside. When he saw the endless milky white Chaos Kai, he was dumbfounded. How could Small Ginseng not know the preciousness of the Chaos Kai? He was immediately going to draw it into the Golden Page world, but then he saw that vast chaos tree and the extremely dense life Kai emitting from it. He didn't need to do anything and his broken arm visibly grew back. Such powerful life force, Small Ginseng amazed. He could see the trouble his boss had. If he didn't provide his boss with God crystals or God spirit range, boss's enlightenment might stop due to a lack of God spirit source. If this enlightenment ended, it would be a huge pity. Small Ginseng gave up drawing the Chaos Kai into the Golden Page world and quickly threw out Yimo's God crystals and set up spirit gathering formation. Small Ginseng's formation skills weren't bad, but even if he didn't know anything, he just needed to throw the God crystals next to Yimo and it would be enough for Yimo. 1 billion God crystals stacked around Yimo, but Small Ginseng was still worried. He dragged that extreme grade God spirit range next to Yimo. After doing all these, Small Ginseng breathed easy and started to think about gathering the dispersed Chaos Kai into the Golden Page world. Small Ginseng's power was too weak and could only gather some. More was dispersing. This ball of Chaos Kai was just too big. The Chaos Tree had grown taller than 300 meters. Yimo and the Chaos Tree devoured the Chaos Kai faster and faster. Small Ginseng saw the God crystals rapidly deplete and even the God spirit range started to deplete. He became very worried. Just when he wanted to bring the rest of the God spirit ranges all out, he heard Yimo say, "No need, Small Ginseng, my enlightenment has reached its extreme. Even if I have God spirit range, I wouldn't be able to reach Dao Essence Divine Emperor." Yimo then opened his eyes. His Dao wave Kai stealthed and dissipated inside his body. With the help of the Chaos Tree and Chaos Kai, he reached Dao Actualization Peak Stage. He's just one step from Dao Essence, but Yimo knew that this little step can be an impassable ravine. If he didn't learn the Dao of being ordinary from upgrading Zishu, then even if he reached Dao Actualization, he would never be able to reach Dao Actualization Peak Stage. Boss is Dao Actualization Peak Stage? Small Ginseng couldn't see Yimo's cultivation level, but Yimo said it. The Chaos Tree became ethereal and soon immersed into Yimo's Dantian. Yimo sent the rest of the Chaos Kai into the Golden Page world and said, "Yes, I'm Dao Actualization Peak Stage. Good thing your arm is repaired now. We can go out." Although he was Dao Actualization Peak Stage, Yimo's powerful strength made him believe he had the power to kill Dao Essence Masters. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2160 Return to the Void Marketplace. Chapter 2160 Return to the Void Marketplace. If he didn't reach Dao Actualization Peak Stage, Yimo would think to enter the Demon Realm and ask about the Abyssal Realm. He wouldn't dare to go to the Void Marketplace. But now, The first place Yimo wanted to go was the Void Marketplace. With his current cultivation level and power, there was no doubt he could kill Tao Essence. Through his enlightenment, he learned the difference between Tao Vindication second step and third step. The third step was Primordial Essence. Primordial Essence masters can easily tear open void. Their will was powerful to the extreme. Therefore, Yimo was certain that the two powerful beings he saw at the auction weren't Primordial Essence Divine Emperors. Their spirit sense was strong but couldn't compare with Primordial Essence Divine Emperor. They were at most two halfway Primordial Essence. The difference between halfway Primordial Essence and Primordial Essence Divine Emperor was heavens apart. Yimo wasn't scared. With his current power level and Zishu, even if he didn't use Golden Arrow of Divine Extermination, he wouldn't be killed by half Primordial Essence. At most, he would run away. Now, Yimo found a place in the dark void. He felt that space was weak and released Zishu hacking out. An extremely vibrant purple color sliced across the dark void. The beam was so bright that it illuminated the entire dark void purple. Under this purple color, a crack opened in the void. The crack wasn't big, but it was much bigger than the small crevice Yimo worked so hard to open before. A few void wind blades flew over, meaning that this void realm was opened up by Yimo. Yimo ignored the wind blades and went into the crack he opened up. The next moment, the crack disappeared gradually. Yimo stood in the familiar void and felt very excited. Just one strike and he knew how much he had improved. Before, he used the Tao Restriction Pill, Formation, Golden Arrow of Divine Extermination and Murder Tao Spear. Even after using all that, he only barely opened a crevice for the Golden Page World to slip in. But today, he casually swung and he opened a crack enough to fit his entire body easily. This was the difference. Yimo stood in the void and desperately wanted a Tao Essence Divine Emperor to fight him. After a long while, Yimo released Spacetime Boat. The location disk on it showed a bright spot, which was the Void Marketplace. Yimo exclaimed. This was the benefit of being powerful. Otherwise, he might need a few hundred or thousand years to come back here. If one day he reached Primordial Essence, perhaps his spirit sense could cross the void and realms. Spacetime Boat sliced through the void and headed to the Void Marketplace at its fastest speed. In just 2 months, the Spacetime Boat stopped outside the Void Marketplace. In order for people to not care, Yimo showed his cultivation level to be Tao Actualization Primary Stage. He was Tao Nourishment Peak Stage before. It was no wonder that he reached Tao Actualization Primary Stage. When Yimo went in, he found that the Void Marketplace was much more busy than before. He saw many more human races before. A familiar person flashed across his eyes. Yimo immediately recognized that person. He was Great Sun God Mountain Dong, and Yimo didn't expect Dong and to have really come to the Void Marketplace. He was halfway Tao Essence now. Yimo guessed it was the help of the Tao fruit he gave Dong-en. Just when Yimo wanted to greet Dong-en, Yimo saw the Tao Essence Divine Emperor next to Dong-en and gave up the thought. He was close to Dong-en, but he had conflict with the Great Sun God Mountain. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor next to him was quite possibly from Great Sun God Mountain. 3 more people appeared in Yimo's vision. Yimo knew 2 of them. The 3 were probably from the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect. The strongest was Tao Actualization Divine Emperor Wang Nanshuang. Yimo had a good impression of her, as Xiaoyun's master said. Wang Nanshuang detested evil and hated being pretentious. The other 2 was Tao Nourishment Divine Emperors. One was Ji Shi, but Yimo didn't know the third. If it was other people from the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect, Yimo wouldn't be bothered to go up, but since Ji Shi appeared here, Yimo immediately walked up and stopped them. The Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect was a top sect that no one dared to mess with in the Divine Tao realm other than the Great Sun God Mountain. But in the Void Marketplace, the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect was nothing. The 3 were very careful. Now that a person suddenly came before them, they subconsciously retreated a few steps. Then, they saw it was Yimo. It's you. The 3 recognized Yimo at the same time. Yimo said expressionlessly, that's right, it's me. Then he looked at Ji Shi. Ji, when are you planning to give me what you owe me? Hearing Yimo reply rudely, Wang Nanshuang's face sunk, but she didn't do anything. She knew Yimo's power. The three of them combined was no match for Yimo's power. She was even more shocked at Yimo's cultivation speed. He only seemed to be Tao molding Divine Emperor before, but now, he was a Tao actualization Divine Emperor. Martial Uncle Nanshuang and Martial Sister Yuehe, go to the Immortal Rest Tower first. I have some business with MBE. Ji, she said. She knew Yimo was after the 3 treasure primordial essence gourd. No, we'll go together. Wang Nanshuang said without hesitation. How could she let Ji Shi leave with Yimo alone? The void marketplace was dangerous and Yimo was an enemy of the immortal goddess sacred sect. Their words immediately caught the attention of Dong and them. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor turned around and saw Yimo. He immediately walked over. Dong'an and the other 3 people came too. Brother Yi, long time no see. Dong'an looked at Yimo in shock and came up to greet. He was shocked at Yimo's cultivation level. He was already Tao actualization. Haha, I didn't expect to meet Castle Master Dong at the Void Marketplace. Yimo smiled and returned the gesture. Elder Dong, you know him? That great Sun God Mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor looked at Dong'an in confusion. Dong'an quickly told him about how he met Yimo. The Tao Essence Divine Emperor looked at Yimo and then Wang Nanshuang and suddenly asked, "You're the person who took away Saint Mu Xiaoyun from the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect? Did you know that Mu Xiaoyun was a saint that the Great Sun God Mountain ordered?" Yimo looked at this Tao Essence and said coldly, "Piss off, I'm not in the mood to look for your trouble." If it was outside he would have killed this Tao Essence Divine Emperor already, but now, he didn't want to fight in the Void Marketplace. He needed to get back the gourd first. He would definitely kill this Tao Essence Divine Emperor. Not only that, he would annihilate Great Sun God Mountain. Hearing a Tao Actualization Divine Emperor dare to tell him to piss off, this Tao Essence Divine Emperor's killing intent immediately spread out. Sensing this, the nearby ordinary Divine Emperors all left. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2161 Ask for 3 Treasure Gourd. Chapter 2161 Ask for 3 Treasure Gourd. Pill Divine Yi. A voice of surprise and joy sounded and a grey man appeared before him. His skin and hair as well as robes were completely grey. As soon as this man landed, the killing intent of the Great Sun God Mountain Tao Essence Divine Emperor was instantly dispersed. People could tell that this grey man dispersed the killing intent. Yimo saluted with his fists. "So it's Brother Xing. I haven't seen you for a while indeed." This person was Xing Hong. Congratulations on reaching Tao Actualization Divine Emperor Pill Divine Yi. If you don't mind, we're willing to hold an immortal fruit party for you. Xing Hong said happily. Compared to how calmly he was with Yimo last time, his expression was much more vivid. He thought Yimo would agree to him before, so he didn't watch Yimo. He thought this Pill Divine Yi would soon come to find him. However, Pill Divine Yi disappeared for 100 years. Although there were legends that Pill Divine Yi was killed by Wn Tong Tong, but as a Tao Essence Divine Emperor, he didn't believe a Pill Divine would die that easily. Otherwise, there was no way Yimo would reach Pill Divine. Then, Xing Hong went to investigate the situation. Things were indeed different to rumors. When Yimo left the Void Marketplace, he intentionally left marks along the way. That's how Bailey Hong caught up to Wn Tong Tong. There was no way Wn Tong Tong would leave these marks as she was hunting Yimo, so it was definitely Yimo who left behind these marks. Knowing that Yimo might have not died, Xing Hong kept Yimo's stall. However, he was disappointed as Yimo truly never came back again. Now, 100 years had passed and Yimo came back to the Void Marketplace. How could he not be excited? A Tao Actualization Pill Divine, how could the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower let him go? Hearing this, the people nearby looked at Yimo with different light. Was there a need to celebrate Yimo reaching Tao Actualization Divine Emperor when there were this many Tao Actualization Divine Emperors in the Void Marketplace? It was just to suck up to Yimo, no need for the celebration party. I still have a private business to deal with. After I deal with that, I will go to Void Marketplace Merchant Tower to visit Brother Xing. Yimo said calmly. He knew that Xing Hong did all this so he could concoct pills for the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower long term, but there was no way he would do that. Xing Hong quickly said, I'm not busy, I'll help you. Then his smile faded and he stared coldly at the great sun god Mountain Dao Essence Divine Emperor. You dare to be so rude to Pill Divine Yi? Do you think you're a Dao Essence Divine Emperor so you can be cocky in the Void Marketplace? This great sun god Mountain Dao Essence Divine Emperor was already completely shocked when he saw Xing Hong be so polite to Yimo. He didn't even dare to bullshit to an ordinary immortal friends from the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower, much less a Void Marketplace Merchant Tower Dao Essence Divine Emperor. I don't dare to. I just saw that Pill Divine Yi came from the Divine Dao realm, that's why I wanted to greet him. The Dao Essence Divine Emperor quickly said. Xing Hong ignored him and asked Yimo, Pill Divine Yi, do you need me to help kill this bastard? His tone sounded like it was as simple as killing an insect. The great sun god Mountain Dao Essence Divine Emperor heard this and shook. Killing him like that, this was too cruel. But he knew that the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower had the right to say such words. Yimo smiled, thank you Brother Xing, but no need for now. Then he looked at this Dao Essence Divine Emperor. You've greeted me already, you can piss off. In time, I will go viest Great Sun God Mountain with Xiaoyun. By the way, Great Sun God Mountain has a Great Sun God Peak. I plan to use that as a urine kettle. Hearing this, the Dao Essence Divine Emperor's face went green, but he didn't dare to say anything. He could only forbear his fury and walk away. He swore that if he saw Yimo alone, he would turn them to dust. HMPH. Xing Hong sneered. Yimo smiled to Xing Hong, Brother Xing, there seems to be a sudden increase in people in the Void Marketplace. There's more humans than before too. What's going on? Seeing this, Xing Hong smiled and said, you should know this. The Dao Fruit Tower is about to open. Many people came to enter it. Of course, if Pill Divine Yi needs a spot, then I have it covered. Yimo's cultivation level was no weaker than Dao Essence Divine Emperor. He really didn't care if there was top Dao fruit in the tower, so he quickly waved his hand. I don't need it for now. If I really do, then I'll ask Brother Xing for help. Yimo didn't care about this spot, but Wang Nanshuang and them on the side were dazed. She almost wanted to charge up and grab Yimo's shirt and ask him if he was crazy. They all came for the Dao Fruit Tower spot. Even if they couldn't go in, they would want to exchange for a Dao fruit from inside. Due to this, they brought the most precious things in their sect. Xing Hong looked at Ji Shi and the two other women next to her and smiled. Okay, Pill Divine Yi, do your things first. After you're done, I'll come invite Pill Divine Yi. Then Xing Hong left and disappeared into the crowd. Seeing this, Wang Nanshuang suddenly saluted with his fists. Pill Divine Yi, you go discuss with Ruo Shi. I will go back carrot the rest tower first with martial sister Yuehe. Wang Nanshuang dragged the other Dao Nourishment Divine Emperor away. Ji Shi knew what her martial uncle meant, but she sighed. It's not her first day knowing Yimo. No matter what she say, Yimo wasn't going to give the immortal goddess sacred sector Dao Fruit Tower spot. Even if she sacrificed her body, Yimo wouldn't agree. Plus, she wouldn't do that. 5 minutes later, Yimo and Ji Shi appeared in an immortal rest tower room. At this time, it was impossible to find a room in the immortal rest tower, but when Yimo walked in with her, the attendant asked if Yimo wanted a room. Ji Shi thought, as long as she was with Yimo, their dainty seemed to be anything hard. That was how she survived in the life-crippling bridge. After closing the door, Yimo waved up a restriction and looked calmly at her. I don't have time to waste, give me what you owe. Ji Shi quickly said apologetically, MBE, if the other half of the gourd is won me right now, I will definitely give it to you. What do you mean? Yimo's tone went cold. Before she schemed against Xiaoyun, Yimo had some good impression towards Ji Shi, but now, she was no different to Ji Sini in Yimo_S eyes. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 2162 I'm Not Free. Chapter 2162 I'm not free Marshal brother Yi, listen to me first. I was planning to give that gourd to Marshal's sister Xiaoyun but something happened in between. Before I could give it to her, you took Marshal's sister Xiaoyun away. Ji Shi's tone was extremely genuine. Yimo knew this. Xiaoyun said Ji Shi was going to give her something but Xiaoyun missed him too much and didn't care. Even so, Yimo interrupted Ji Shi, just tell me where the gourd is now. I've left the gourd with my master. I don't know how long it will take for me to go back from the Void Marketplace. I don't even know if I can go back. I was afraid you would go to the Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect to ask for the gourd, so I left it there. If I knew you came to the Void Marketplace, I would bring it. Ji Shi sighed. She was telling the truth. That half gourd had no use to her. She didn't need to offend Yimo for it. Yimo's heart surged with disappointment. He got up. He didn't have the mood to talk with Ji Shi anymore. Seeing Yimo get up, Ji Shi got up too. Marshal brother Yi, thank you. Yimo knew that she was thanking him for saving her life on the life-crippling bridge. But Ji Shi knew Xiaoyun was his wife and still didn't try to help her. Yimo's impression of her was extremely bad. Seeing Yimo couldn't be bothered to talk to her, Ji Shi said dejectedly, Marshal brother Yi, how is Marshal's sister Xiaoyun? Yimo stopped and turned around, saying coldly, Ji Shi, that's not something you need to care about. Just give me that gourd. If I go back to the Divine Tao realm and find out you're lying one single bit, then I will annihilate Immortal Goddess Sacred Sect before the Great Sun God Mountain does. Then, Yimo walked out and disappeared from this Immortal Rest Tower. Yimo just walked out of the tower and an extremely pretty goddess bowed. May I ask if you're Pill Divine Yi Master? Yimo looked at her in confusion. He didn't know her at all. Then, Yimo thought of Xing Hong and immediately said I am. The goddess quickly said, Xing Hong, invite Pill Divine Master to chat at the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. I was ordered to wait here for you. Okay, lead the way. Yimo was planning to go via Xing Hong. He wasn't scared of them, but it was good to connect with them. Seeing Yimo so compliant, the goddess said in surprise and joy, thank you Pill Divine Yi, this way please. Wait, they were suddenly stopped, an emotionless voice. At the same time, a man with blue lethal light on his face appeared before the two. His hair was messy and he was Tao Essence Divine Emperor peak stage. He seemed very messy, but his icy cold killing intent could be felt by all those around him. Yimo didn't move. He knew this person. When he acted as a Tao Essence Divine Emperor coming back to the Void Marketplace, this guy was looking for him. He didn't your Pill Divine Yi? The Tao Essence Divine Emperor stared at Yimo for a while before asking. Yimo answered plainly, yes I am. I'm Qiao He. I've been waiting for you in the Void Marketplace for 100 years. Please come with me. As he spoke, his powerful killing intent receded, but his tone was still icy cold. It was as though that because he told Yimo to go, Yimo should go with him, no questions asked. I'm Pill Divine Yi indeed, but why should I go with you? Yimo asked back. Hearing this, Qiao his killing intent soared. As his killing intent soared, a burst of blue circulated around his body. Even he didn't expect that Yimo dared to argue back. Yimo was already annoyed that he didn't get the gourd, and now Qiao he dared to act so cocky in front of him. Facing Qiao his powerful lethal force, Yimo went in instead and smashed out his domain. Yimo's domain was about to become a realm, and with his spirit sense domain on top, Qiao he was pushed back tens of steps even though he was Tao Essence peak stage. Qiao his lethal force domain crumbled under Yimo's domain. Qiao he looked at Yimo in disbelief. He completely didn't expect this Tao actualization Divine Emperor could so easily break his Tao Essence domain. This wasn't him attacking at full power, but he could tell that even if he attacked with full power, he wouldn't be able to get an advantage with Yimo. Was this Tao actualization Pill Divine only a Tao actualization? Yimo ignored Qiao he and walked up to that scared pretty goddess and said, ignore this cocky bastard, lead the way. Okay. The goddess suppressed her shock and quickly led in front. Pill Divine Yi, wait, Qiao he came up. Yimo no longer had his patience and looked coldly at Qiao he. What? Do you want to fight? Then go. No, Pill Divine Yi, our palace lord is inviting you to be a guest. Please. His tone was much calmer this time. Yimo said without hesitation, tell your pai I have no time. Then, Yimo sped up and the goddess sped up. Seeing Yimo ignore him, Qiao his face went blue for a while but he controlled himself. Instead, he followed Yimo to the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower. Pill Divine Yi, please come in. Xing Hong greeted up before Yimo even walked in. Xing Hong invited Yimo into the Merchant Tower's luxurious guest hall and told the goddesses to bring the best immortal fruit and immortal tea. Yimo drank the tea and aroma circulated non-stop. The aroma could clear up one's sea of consciousness. Pill Divine Yi, this is the best Snow Ripple tea from Snow Ripple Lake. If Pill Divine Yi likes it, I'll give you some. Seeing Yimo seemingly like this tea, Xing Hong immediately smiled and said, Then thank you, Brother Xing. Did you find me to give me some immortal tea or is it for something else? Yimo didn't have the mood to waste time here. He wanted to find a place to rest and then ask about the abyssal realm. Xing Hong smiled awkwardly. Pill Divine Yi probably knows what I want. Our merchant tower is quite powerful in the Void Marketplace, but unfortunately, our top Pill Divines are growing less. There's not a single Pill Divine like Pill Divine Yi. Seeing Yimo not talk, Xing Hong could only continue. Everyone knows Pill Divine Yi's power in the Void Marketplace. If you're willing, our merchant tower wants to invite Pill Divine Yi to join our merchant tower. Yimo immediately said, Thank you, Brother Xing, but God Crystals and God Spirit Range are not very attractive to me anymore and I can't join the Void Marketplace merchant tower. Of course, if the Void Marketplace merchant tower needs me to concoct pills, then on Brother Xing's account I can do a few batches. As for fees, there's no need, but my pill concoction success rate is only 50%. Xing Hong knew that inviting someone like Yimo to join them wasn't realistic unless he used forced. But as a Pill Divine, if Yimo went in and never came back out, it would clearly have a huge effect on the Void Marketplace Merchant Tower's reputation. Plus, he also knew that he wanted to invite Yimo to concoct pills. It was already great that Yimo offered to concoct pills. Hearing that Yimo actually had 50% success rate, Xing Hong quickly said, Thank you very much, Pill Divine Yi. I really want to ask you to concoct some pills. You only need to give us 30%, the rest will be yours. Yimo smiled. No, I can't trouble Brother Xing. I said 50%, so 50% it is. Perhaps I will be needing Brother Xing's help in the Void Marketplace. Xing Hong was very happy. God pills had a very low success rate and now that Yimo said he was giving 50% to them, it was a huge favor. He said with some pity, we wanted to buy that light heart for Pill Divine Yi, but pity it was taken by an extremely powerful half-primordial essence master. Yimo didn't listen to that at all. He didn't believe they would give the light heart to him. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.